You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast, home of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Back for a Monday, I believe, February the 15th of... Monday the 15th of February, 2021. What a bedshit start that is.
February the 15th of...
February the 15th of February. Now, listen, bit of context as to why that was probably not my most potent intro to a podcast ever. Edward, as I introduce you, how are you first?
I'm well. I'm
You're
good. I feel like I'm better than you.
You are. I got sick on the weekend.
Marginally.
Yeah. Well, I got sick last week. And
How?
I don't know exactly how. Like, obviously, body run down, some sort of virus seeps its way in, the immunity system's down, and then just...
I just thought maybe
Had I done anything?
some bloke coughed on you on a bus or
No.
something. You know what I mean?
I don't. Not that I'm aware of, possibly, but also I haven't been on any buses lately. Thank Christ. So Thursday, you and I had a couple of meetings we had to go to. It was a busy day. We were in and around, like, we're just doing a lot of shit. By the end of the day, my throat was feeling a little bit hoarse, and I was like, surely it's just because I have not stopped talking all day. Like, it's been a busy fucking day. So I just tried to, like, brush it off. And then Friday I woke up and I'm like, oh no, this is a sore throat. And it was just sore all day. Usually when you get a sore throat, you wake up, it's sore in the morning, it gets better during the day, then it comes back again at night because you sort of warm it up. Didn't. It was just bad as bad can get. And then Friday night, Bracey of Nude Soon fame was back in town and everyone was going to the pub and it was like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, let's go to the pub. And I was like, oh, I can't do anything here. Like, runny nose, fucking...
You went to the pub?
No, I didn't go to the pub. I was like, I felt like shit, but also in these, COVID times, I was like, you'd have to be a bit of a piece of shit to go to the pub when you're starting to come down with something, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I didn't. I stayed home and I tried to watch the fight night, which we'll get to. We'll get to all of that because I didn't watch the fight night. And then I woke up Saturday and I was an absolute mess. I was like congested. My body was aching.
Ooh.
I had to wear sunnies inside because of the light, which I am doing now. But
That's almost flu stuff.
Dude, it was flu stuff. I'm like, oh, fuck, I have COVID.
You had the flu.
Dude, I was like, this is...
Jeez, get away from me, bro.
This is problematic. And also, for those of you in New South Wales or anyone just paying any attention to the COVID situation, we are in the midst of like a 28-day unbeaten streak of like community transmission.
And imagine if you broke it.
I was like, imagine if I'm the fucker that breaks this thing.
Would be good publicity for the pod.
That's true. Well,
Or bad.
Nah, I think it'd
Probably good.
You could spin it. You could spin it.
You'd have to.
You'd find a way to spin it. But I was just absolutely fucked. And so I went to get my old COVID test, get the brain tickled. And I will say this, the turnaround time has really ramped up. I had the results, I think, by the end of the day.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Look, New South Wales always gone the big lift with the COVID testing.
Yeah.
The benchmark,
Yeah.
I think that's been, referred to as. And given that our little friends down south continue to fuck this up,
Yeah, I know.
like can't they get on the blower to New South Wales and go help us?
But
Or
also
is this a little bit of a, well, fuck you, we're not helping you?
But the way they've seemed to have fucked up is through their hotel quarantine. It's like, hey, bruh, can we get the quarantine side of things right? What the fuck are we
Is
talking
he still
about?
shortballing his mates in the security industry contracts
You'd
with this
hope
thing?
not. You'd hope not.
Look,
But,
I'm supposed to have a 30th down there on the 6th of March, and Victoria doing everything they possibly can to fuck up
that.
what will be a great weekend for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, they'll fuck it up.
Like, this is going to be one of the great 30ths for me if I can get
you
down
can
there.
get there.
And they just keep fucking it up.
Yeah. And then all of them were like complaining about a 5-day lockdown. It's like, hey guys, listen, it's 5 days. It's not I get you've been through some lockdowns in your time. You guys love a lockdown down there, but it's 5 days. Stop complaining. Get your shit together. It's 5 days. Do you think that's a fair...
Well, I'd be saying to Dan, what's going on with this hotel quarantine thing? Like, what's going on here?
Well, the hotel...
Answer some questions.
So I think what they did was they gave a sick patient an asthma nebulizer, and then he wasn't allowed to use it apparently, but he said he was told he was allowed to use it, and then someone's touched it, and it's gone.
So
I mean, I don't know.
someone was given an asthma puffer, and then it was
Nebulizer,
shared.
nebulizer.
Oh, the nebulizer. Is that like the
I think that
face
goes over your face. Either way,
deal?
Dior that. I
Dior
was
that.
sick.
now. Someone asked me yesterday, and I had to ask them, and I didn't even know.
He's like, do that. He's like, oh, fuck.
Because someone's already tried to explain it to me, and I didn't even understand it the first time.
What a nebulizer is?
Nebulizer,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I used to have asthma as a wee boy, and you basically put the mask over your face and you're breathing in when your chest is getting tight. Very scary as a young child. I've grown out of asthma, thankfully.
Oh, yeah, I've seen these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what you use for kids and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
put the fucking... It's oxygen, basically.
So is asthma something you can like just not have anymore? I thought it's something you had for life.
No, dude. Like, I mean...
You just
I think you can
grow out of it. You can grow out of it.
You can go into it as well.
Yeah.
Right.
If I,
Like, have you always had hay fever?
No.
Grow into it.
Hay
So
fever,
you can
yeah.
become a beater.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
In time.
Adult onset hay fever is the biggest pain in the ass. Like, I see spring coming 2 seasons off. I'm like, fuck, I can see it on the horizon. This is going to be tough. And for the first couple of weeks of spring, I don't get any antihistos. I'm
You
like,
just cop it.
but it's more like, oh, has it hit yet? It hits day one of spring. If not a couple of days before, you are already sneezing. But I'm always like, no, fuck, surely. Mate, what's more
But
fucking...
is that part of you, going, maybe this year I don't have it?
No, look, no, because I know that I've got it now. Like, trust me, there's no getting out of hay fever. It is the biggest pain in the ass. I still sneeze a lot year round now, but spring, it's not just sneezing, because I can deal with a bit of sneezing. It's like itchy eyes, swollen eyes, runny nose, like a runny nose to the point where I would walk around my house just with like tissue jammed up it and just like, well, this is the day. And I'd have to like change them out.
Of course you got to change them out.
Well, yeah, because I'm not a pig.
Yeah, but I imagine they get drenched.
That's what I mean.
Like saturated.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
In which case they would become ineffective.
You'd be surprised. But yes, they do become ineffective at some point. But you don't want them to wait. Look,
This is a rambling opener.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And all I'm saying is the reason I fucked up the intro is because I'm sick. Or at least I was sick and I'm getting better. But I don't have COVID and that's the most important thing. I've just got your old school 2019 run-of-the-mill flu.
Or cold.
Or cold. I think more cold.
I've never had a flu, fun fact.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, they'll get you.
Nah.
To be honest, if I had the
But I'm
flu
the son of a tank water
of a
drinker.
tank water man.
Do you know what I mean?
I had a
Like,
flu a couple of years ago.
You get it.
And I was wiped out for 4 days, like wiped. If I had been told at that point, like if I had the feeling I had then, now, and they're like, yeah, this is COVID, I'm like, I'm gonna die. But because I knew it was a flu, I'm like, oh, look, it's tough, but I'll get through it. Because COVID's all, the rage. It'd fucking scare you. But all I'm saying is, I feel like almost a little bit of a hipster. Like I've got something like the thing that used to be cool, which is like the 2019 cold or flu, whatever. And no COVID. I'm just like a throwback.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, if
I've always
that's
been,
how you want to
well,
sell
I've always
it,
been a bit, that way inclined, a bit cool.
a bit weird.
It's not even as common anymore. There are all those things saying how we've almost eliminated the flu from all the lockdowns this year.
Is that true?
In New Zealand, there
not.
was some stat that like 99% of like flu cases are kind of gone this year.
Yeah,
Because
but
there's
is that
that
not
flu
just because
lockdown.
we are fucking not
But the flu's been doing its thing for a long time. Like I can't see us getting rid of the flu.
Yeah, I
the
don't think
flu's
they're ever going to fully get rid of it.
Flu's
But in
undefeated.
terms of the season we had
Is
last
the flu
year,
under?
well, it's been defeated, but I mean, like, it's been a... Isn't the flu
It's a
pandemic?
mainstay.
Yeah, it's a mainstay. It's a staple. Not to get all fucking hopper on you, but isn't the flu a pandemic, technically? Like, don't we all get that? Or is it a different one in each country?
I don't know. Because it's
good question.
It's influenza.
Yeah.
Flu short for influenza.
Well done.
Thank you very much. I'm here all day. I don't know if it's a pandemic or if multiple strains mean that it's not. I don't know. Look, Dior. This is all very.
Look, we're on the forefront of science and research here.
Look, have we been in the lab all weekend, crunching numbers?
Sort of. I mean, it depends what your lab is.
Yeah, no, I think because there's so many different types of flu, it's not a pandemic unless it's all the same. Like,
But does it have a common ancestor? Was there the original, the OG,
Yeah.
who splintered?
Patient zero. Who ate the flu back?
first flu.
Yes.
Ugh,
Fuck.
this might be tough. So on the pandemics, there was an 1889-90 flu pandemic, which they called the Asiatic flu or the Russian flu. Which was the
1889?
Yeah, which was the first pandemic.
That sounds to me like the culprit.
That could have been first flu.
Just type in the first ever flu.
Influenza virus A. Hang on. First.
Bet this wasn't what you were expecting to be.
The
doing,
first
Dave.
pandemic worldwide epidemic that undoubtedly fits the description of influenza appeared in 1580.
There we go.
Beginning in Asia and Russia and spreading to Europe via North Africa.
There we go.
Yeah, first ever
So
flu.
1518, this motherfucker is 500 years old.
Yeah.
502.
Seen plenty of winters.
503.
Seen plenty of winters.
This is its 503rd winter. If I'm correct in my math, I
Yeah.
could be wrong. But
Pretty good at math, though.
No,
That's a lot.
1580. 80.
Or 80, not
Yeah.
80. Well, like you're going to have to deal now.
Yeah. Everyone else worked that out. All we're saying is
It's seen some winners.
it's seen some
It's seen
winters.
441
41.
winters.
And so, I mean, to think that, it's going to stop now because we've sort of locked down for a couple of months.
Oh,
don't
I think
so.
that's naive.
I don't think so. I think the flu might be sunning itself on a beach and just sort of going, I'll just chill here until all you idiots come out of your house again.
It's having some R&R.
Yeah.
It's got its nutsack out and it's
Got its
enjoying the
nutsack out,
sun.
getting the sun. Now, we do have the golf on while we are doing this podcast because a good friend of ours, Michael Pride, professional gambler, he's coming up to it. How many days has there been since 2011?
It would be like 3,000, wouldn't it? At least. So 365 a year, 2011 to 10 years ago.
Yep, I'm
4,000 days, 3,500. 3,600 days, something like that. Punters and dribblers. That's how long it's been since he's worked.
Well, yeah, if we're going from the last day.
Yeah,
of
just say all of 2011 until now.
all of 2011.
Yeah.
So January 1st, 2011 was
Yep.
10 years, 1 month, 1 week, and 6 days ago.
Right. So how many days? Like I need individual days. Like how many thousand days are we dealing?
How many days from Jan 1st, 2011 to today?
Because the reason we got the golf on is Michael Pride, professional gambler, dear friend of ours, tipped us into Max Homer to win the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. Is that what it's called?
AT&T, Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
Pro-Am, but without the am this year because of COVID. Now, our boy Max Homer is 12 under.
You got on him at $31. I got on him.
I think I boosted him to 40, but yeah.
I got on him at 81. He was fucking coming 11th when I went to bed last night. He's now coming 3rd, I believe. Or maybe 4th now that there's a few. Anyway, he's close enough for us to be interested.
But he needs to get a fucking wriggle on. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, he does.
Like, he needs to start birding the shit out of this thing.
Yeah.
See,
and
look,
Jason Day just misses.
he's basically 3 back. He's 3 back, and he's got 6 holes to play. So he needs to get a fucking
wriggle on, or hope that everyone in front of him shits their pants. So we may be intermittently getting distracted by the golf, but shout out to Michael Pride, one of the big lifters in the punting space, professional gambler. Did we land on days, Dave?
So yeah, my calculations work out to be 3,693, give or take.
That's how many
Yeah.
days since he's had a real job, respectfully, because he's been a professional gambler since 2011.
And a dear friend.
And a dear friend now. New friend, dear friend.
Yeah, he's dear.
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 Close to our hearts. And you may be hearing more of Michael
You may be.
in the not too distant future. While we're on punting, Eddie, and while we're on
Dribbling.
a special shout out at the top of the show has got to go to Alex Swanton of Nut Trucker Dribbler fame.
Yep.
Now of
Greyhound.
Shit Hot Tips fame.
Yeah. Of I can back a dishy fame.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like none of that fucking $1.50 crap.
No.
There was value there.
He popped a thing in the Punters and Dribblers page late Saturday, basically saying
About 6 p.m.
About 6 p.m. Saturday, saying I was doing some work at a guy's house today. He was a greyhound trainer, and he said, "Get on Wow at Meadows, race 8, number 5 at Meadows." I think is
The Meadows.
the Meadows. Dog called Wow, and listen,
Yellow
when-
dog.
Yellow dog. The P's and D's got
Coming
around
out of
it.
box 5. Beautiful stuff.
And look, the P's and D's got around it. Look, for whatever reason, like a lot of shit tips get thrown around in there, but for some reason the stars aligned and we all just hopped on this fucking pooch and just whipped him home collectively.
Sometimes I think that a collection of punters and dribblers whipping something home
Yeah.
gives it an extra yard of pace.
Yeah, like if you're sort of, it's kind of like when they do like group meditation and they try and like all send positive vibes to one specific area.
Yeah.
So that's like if we would have held like a group meditation session, that's essentially what it was, and it was that we were all sending these like absolutely an overwhelming amount of like punters and dribbler vibes, which has probably never been harnessed before like it was on the weekend. That might be the first time it's ever happened, where hundreds, if not thousands of dribblers and punters.
I like that it was late in the day on a Saturday, the tip comes through, almost as if it was there to help out those in need.
Yeah.
Because people would have done their ass on the Saturday races,
yeah.
especially with a bit of rain around. You know, a wet track makes it hard going for people.
Yeah.
Like if you were punting on Randwick on the weekend, good luck.
Yeah.
Heavy track.
Very.
So Alex comes down as if from the heavens and gifts us something.
Here we go. One more.
This is a get out.
Yeah.
This is a get out. Because it didn't run to like 10 o'clock, did it?
No,
Or was it at
was
9?
quarter to 9. Quarter to
9.
9, yeah.
Perfect stuff.
Got up. A lot of P's and D's, made a lot of money on that.
Heaps of money.
Yeah.
I wonder who won the most.
Well, Swanee chucked a hundo on there.
Did he?
Yeah. He was like, he goes, I got a lead from the front.
Okay. I
So,
respect that.
yeah, you
I
gotta
respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, of course you do. So shout out to Swanee of Nut Trucker fame / shit hot pooch tips fame. We all owe you a debt of gratitude for that one. And then also, a tip of the cap to Neil So, who's doing his goddamn best to try and change the collective conversation around his tips.
And
his name. Well, Swanee took his N. That's what they were saying. So he's now just Ilso, and he's a 2N Swanton. so he's now Ilso.
Ilso. Oh my God. Ilso, bro, come on, be better.
Oh, Ilso. But Ilso tried to recover by putting, Gilbert Burns to knock out Kamaru Usman in the first round, paying $15. And look, as we know, if you jump on any of Nilso's tips and they don't come off, like it's only you've got yourself to blame. But in fairness to him, or at least to give him something.
Give him something. I don't think fairness isn't.
No, it's not fairness. It's not
isn't
fairness.
right.
It's just to give him something to keep his spark lit. You know.
Yeah. To stop his flame going out.
Exactly, like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to turn to when the rain set in. Almost came off,
But didn't.
but it didn't. But he rocked
Like
it.
if you put the bet on and you went to check your account balance, it will reflect that the bet didn't win.
What you'll see when you check your account balance is that Nilso's tip was actually wrong.
There'll be an X next to it. It'll be red. It won't be green. It'll be red.
But if you'd watched the first round, there was about a 20-second window where you thought Nilso's tip might have come off.
And you were possibly thinking about giving his end back.
Well, potentially. There was a chance where Ilso maybe got his end back, but not anymore. Never to return. But I think maybe we should jump into some sport, Eddie. I don't know if there's anything else.
No, I think so, Matt. I think we're ready.
I think we're ready. All right, Eddie. Well, look, it's been again, we're in the depths of February, the worst sporting month of the year. But there's been enough on for you to get around a bit, you know? There has still been enough.
There's been enough. There's been enough.
Now, Australian Open obviously going on, and I'll tell you what, the king, Nick Kyrgios, his performances of late have been nothing short of orgasmic. Now, yeah, he's out. He's out of the tournament, but that bloody 5-set comeback win over that French dude, Ugo Humbert, like you couldn't have more of a beater name, with the greatest respect to Ugo. But
I think Ugo knows that.
I think Ugo's sort of like, you couldn't have made it Hugo, like you couldn't have. But the 5-set comeback, but then it was to be honest, it was the one against Dominic Thiem.
World number 3 thinks he's a bit of a mover and shaker.
He does.
I don't see it that way.
Thiem gets high on his own supply.
Yeah, he does. Smells his own farts.
Big time.
Now, look, all due respect to Thiem, because he's a tremendous tennis player, but he does get high on his own supply.
Yep.
He went up against Nick, and Nick fucking rattled the shit out of him in those first
Nick
two sets.
doesn't have a coach and doesn't train for the game of tennis, and
didn't play last year.
And didn't
like
play
at
last
all.
year. And he
Just sort of mooched around Canberra.
took the first
With
two
all due
sets.
respect.
Took the first 2 sets off the number 3 in the world.
Yeah.
And then only it would seem because of the sort of mentality of Nick didn't win the game.
Nick pumps up people. Like, I was watching up at the Mossman RSL. He had the big screen, the biggest in Mossman, they call it. I would argue, biggest north of the bridge. This thing's fucking huge. It could be biggest south of the bridge too.
It could be the biggest.
This could be the biggest thing in the Southern Hemisphere.
The greatest Sydney.
I don't know. I don't have the stats and figures in front of me, but it's a big TV. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Nick got that. They had Nick on the big screen, and the fights have been relegated to, the corner of the establishment. But in fairness to Mossman RSL management, it was the right call because the King fucking riles people up. They love to watch him. Like, he is a lot of fun. And those first 2 sets
they were like as fun as a game.
had
of tennis
everyone
has ever been.
aroused. Like, everyone goes, oh, shit. That's right. Tennis is sick to watch.
But he's the Happy Gilmore of tennis without a shadow of a doubt. But those first 2 sets were like they were almost the funnest tennis I've seen in terms of like a tennis player playing to the crowd. And
he's a showman.
He's a showman, dude. He's a showman. Like, he was just about pumping everyone up. Obviously, we have to talk about the drop serve, the underarm serve to win the second set. And then as he walks off...
Into a billy walk,
dude. And, like, puts his arms up in the air, the whole crowd's going psycho, and then into a billy walk. And then, obviously, basically from that billy walk, everything's downhill. But it's like... the way...
No, there was a slight uphill when he had break points in the third set.
Yeah.
And I was watching it with you, friend of the show, and we were like, feel like he should have won that. Like, feel like if he was going to win this game, he should have got that break point there. Because we all know Nick's temperament, and we all know that and this is no offense to Nick, not the strongest upstairs ever.
No.
He's not a goat for mental strength.
No.
Far from it.
No.
Goat entertainer?
Yes.
Not goat for mental strength.
No.
And felt like when he missed those break points, something flipped, and it was a slow decline into an L after that.
He is...
And,
He is crazy, though. Like, and again, this all happened, I'm pretty sure, in the week since we've last done the podcast. So it might have been when he played Ugo Umber, or maybe even the one before then. But at one point in one of those games, he looks at his box and he goes to his brother, "Get your girlfriend out of my box." And he said it a couple of times. And everyone's like, "Oh, what the fuck? Is there some beef there?" Like, that's a very particular and pointed thing to say to an individual during a tennis match. And then afterwards he goes, "I tell him not to listen to anything I say."
Yeah.
But like, that's... And listen, we're all pro King. We're riding King.
Is that what he tells the media, do you think? Or, is that a sort of a cover going, oh, fucking crazy me? Or do you think that a sledge like that or an outlandish comment like that in the middle of a game comes from somewhere?
I would think it would have to. That's what I'm saying. He's saying it's nothing, and I'm like, if it's nothing, that is some serial killer level crazy shit to say out of anger in the box.
But tennis sends you mad.
I know it does.
It's the only sport where you are literally by yourself.
Well, golf. Oh, you got to
No, you got a caddy. Surfing, potentially. Swimming, sure.
It's not. But
swimming's sort of lame.
Running.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but, boxing.
But, they're out there for
coaches.
5 hours
Yeah,
sometimes.
I know.
That is a fucking
Long
ridiculous amount of time.
Now, a dribbler, we've obviously got dribblers, but this one was just a specifically pointed one about Kyrgios that I managed to hear, and I thought it best to play it during the Kyrgios yarn chat as opposed to when you get to the dribbles and then people go, "Oh, I bet you've already spoken about it." So I believe that our friend Dior Dave, who I don't know if we've said hello to yet. Hi, Dior.
Hello.
Officially.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yeah. Good work with the flu stuff.
Yeah, great work with the flu.
Thanks,
and
yeah.
the days of the year sort of looking up.
You could have been quicker.
Look,
Yes.
If you're looking for feedback.
maths and science are not two of my strong suits, but...
See, that
we
surprises
got
me.
there, right.
That surprises me as well. But then also it doesn't because he's very musically inclined.
That's
He's
true.
a creative. Me and him are like more of is it left brain, Dave?
Right.
Is right brain more you?
I'm left brain, you're right brain.
Okay. I
It's
thought
the
left brain-
opposite. It's
quickly
the opposite.
Dioring that.
It's the opposite. If you're left-handed, it's right brain.
But I'm just saying, which one's the
You're
more
left-
One of
creative
them's the
side?
creative one.
Which one's the
right? The creative is right.
What did I just say?
Yeah, but we're
okay.
just checking everything, mate.
Yeah,
But
sure.
that's a very
Left.
left brain thing to know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I'd say Dave's probably more right brain like myself.
Look, this early in the morning.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
It's not about which hand you have.
It does.
So what? All creative people are left-handed.
A lot of them are
Well,
statistically.
thank you very much. Except I throw right-handed, which obviously means that I've got some nous about me as well. I'm ambidextrous. Basically, I'm fucking triple threat.
A mate of mine yesterday, I played pool against him, and he plays pool left-handed, but everything else he plays right-handed.
Now, pull. Would you say pull left-handed is this? Holding the
that's
stick with your left
left-handed.
hand?
Yeah.
I do left-handed.
Left-handed.
But I think I can do right-handed as well. But I throw right-handed.
I can kick both feet.
I doubt that. I don't believe that for a second.
Off the ground, I can, yeah. Place kicks and like soccer and shit, I can, yeah.
Well, like you can kick conversions with both feet.
yeah.
I respectfully, and this is obviously like I've known Eddie for a long time, and he's a dear, close friend of mine. But I haven't come across anyone more uncoordinated. So I'm just trying to work out how possibly you kick with both feet at a proficient level.
Well,
Like,
maybe he's.
I could kick a ball with
Off
both
the
feet.
ground. Off the ground.
But
Yeah.
Tom, maybe what he's saying is that he kicks equally with both feet. He didn't say whether he kicks
But
well.
shit,
Yeah.
no.
What's up for you? Well, look. Possibly.
Look, I mean, would you be able to kick a conversion with both feet, or you're just saying you'd be able to hit the ball with your foot?
I reckon I could kick a conversion with both feet.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, right in front.
Yeah. You're not wanting to go from out wide, which is fine. That's all right. If you think
I think that's fair.
no, that's fair. I think
I don't want to set unrealistic expectations.
no,
for
that's
myself.
okay. Look, I know we've got a lot of challenges that we've got to do, but
And we'll get to them
we'll get to them
in time. All we need is patience. Oh, I forgot what we were talking about.
We're
The
talking-
curious dribble.
yes.
yeah,
we can
right.
do that.
And
Let's
you
go.
can't kick with both feet.
Yeah. Left brain, right brain.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. G'day, fellas. Tom, Eddie, Dave. Dave, I'm very sorry for abusing you last time. I actually think you're a decent bloke, even if you're a massive turncoat. But, like, you're actually a decent
Was this the
guy.
guy that called up and
No,
said,
fair
This is-
play, Dave.
It might have been. I don't
But,
know.
I'm not normally a tennis dribbler, but I want to have a tennis dribble tonight, fellas. And what I want to dribble about is the king, the king himself. Like, he may have lost. He may have lost to the third seed Dominic team, but there's no shame in losing to someone in the top five. And he gave it a red hot crack. He did really well. And all I want to say is, Nick, he is the most representative player of the millennial generation in Australia that I can think of. He's mixed race. He's half Greek. He's half Malaysian. That's very progressive of Nick Kyrgios. And he just has a lot of head noise. For a millennial, which is not uncommon. Not uncommon at all. Like, most millennials, speaking as a millennial myself, you got a lot going on in the head. And he verbalizes that in a serious way, He has a good go. He has a good go at it. He verbalizes head noise in a vocal manner. And he just knows what he's doing. He has a good go.
Cuts off there. But he's got a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from that, he has a good go. And he
he's basically
verbalizes
saying
his head noise.
He's just saying he's the perfect representation of a millennial tennis player. Like, he's the most truthful representation of a millennial tennis player.
Yeah. I'm with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, fellas. I just cut off from my king dribble before. Like, all I want to say is that he is a true millennial hero. He's got so much head noise. He does what he wants to do, and he's got so much unfulfilled potential. Like, as is the case with most Australian millennials, he has a shit ton of potential, but only breaches it to the point which is enough to get him by. He does nothing to go above and beyond that. He just reaches his own potential. Oh, like, doesn't even reach his own potential. Like, just does what's got to be done, and that's all it is. he's a hero. He's the most.
I think we can
representative
all.
of
I think
tennis
that's
players
the extent of
generation.
what he says. But
And
we can all basically relate to. I just found that a perfect summation of like the millennial. It's like just do what you need to do to get by, so you can go to the pub on the weekend and get flogged with all your mates. The head noise,
It'll be there, but it's about blocking it out, doing the bare minimum,
and then
and going to the pub.
Going to the pub,
Which he does.
which he does.
Like, he goes out before fucking... I think it was when
Was it Wimbledon?
Before he played Nadal, he was out on the piss with a journo.
Yeah.
And in the presser after the game, was like, oh, didn't I see you last night? The pub is out on the red.
Yeah, at Wimbledon.
At Wimbledon. Couldn't give a fuck. Or, like, he cares about going to the pub. That's what I do know. But he doesn't seem to be that rattled about playing Nadal on grass.
But it's just, there's a lot of it where like
At a major.
people don't understand the king. There's a lot of the older generation who get pissed off about him and about the way he behaves. And I can't remember some former tennis player, I think it was a female, I can't remember her name. She came out and she was like, I don't know if he's a good bad guy or a bad good guy. And he's like, you don't know fucking anything about me, doll.
But it'd be like war veterans who, having come home from the war and reared sons, only to see them, in leather and long hair and shit, like
In the 60s.
in the 60s,
Yeah.
and they're going, "What the fuck is going on?"
King's the
that's not my era.
King's the face of the new Roaring 20s, basically.
That's exactly right.
Things are different in the Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
And King's at the forefront of a changing culture, a culture shift.
Yeah, that's right.
We're fucking been downtrodden by our boomer parents. And, he's a bit younger than us, but I feel like we're pretty much the same age. Certainly in mentality. And,
Yeah, look, we're not that far apart in age. How old is he? 24, 25?
Yes.
we're actually not that far, are we? If he's 24, I'll fucking throw up on myself, though. That's a hell of a life to live at 24.
He's 25.
Still pretty young, isn't
So
it?
5 years between me and the
5 years.
king.
Well,
Turning 26 this year.
Okay.
I'll say 4 years.
4 years. Well, so what's that? 7 years for me? I'm 32 this year. Either way, the king. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone be more entertaining in a tennis game, including any other king game, than those first two sets. And obviously, he's playing in Australia, so all the crowd's on his side. But it was just like,
He is probably the most entertaining tennis player I've ever
and
seen.
he doesn't. He doesn't get like.
From taking away, obviously, when Federer plays the game.
Yeah,
that's
but-
more art.
But
this is like
exactly.
showman.
Yeah, no, this is Federer's art. This is more like punk rock.
Yeah. This is Blink 182.
Yeah,
you know what
This
I
is
mean?
like chicks showing their tits in
Yeah,
the crowd. This is
yeah.
Happy Gilmore tennis.
Yeah. This is exactly right. That's
Like
exactly
mosh
right.
pits where you get beat up.
Exactly.
He goes out of his way to hit tweeners.
Yeah.
Dude,
Goes out of his way.
There was one that he hit a tweener where he was up. I think he had 2 breaks, or it was he had 2. He was 2 points up to like win his service game, and it was like he needed to because he'd been broken or something. And he goes for a fucking he goes for a tweener and fucks it, and you're like,
What are you doing? But the balls, the fucking nutsack, just to even have a crack at the underarm serve. Like,
And the way he does it,
and
he
yeah, you could
disguises
and
it.
yeah, you could say, oh, but he's up 40 love, like it's not a nutsack. But I'm like, but it is though, because
the set's on the line.
The
and he's
set's
playing
on the
third
line.
in the world, home event.
yeah,
like the
and he
crowd
goes
there.
the underarm serve. It's actually brilliant. There's a couple of tennis players that have come out being like, well, some hate it, but others, I think even Federer was like, it's genius.
Yeah. And also
It's genius.
they talk about how well
It should be used more.
but they say that a lot of people try and do it. This is what the commentators were saying on Friday, was it? Yeah, Friday. They were like, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people do it, but there are other tennis players that do it, but no one hides it as well as him. The way he does it.
Because of his action.
His action, it doesn't look like he's about to do it at all, and he doesn't really he bamboozles motherfuckers. There's nothing more almost pathetic, and I mean this with the greatest respect, than seeing the person he's serving to realize they're about to get underarm served and then desperately trying to sprint to it.
Well, that's
Like,
because...
it's just you're not making it. Look, I get it.
But he's got the biggest serve. Like, Nick's got one of the great serves on
200
tour.
plus, right?
No, and the rest. He can get up to 220, not breaking a sweat. But Tiem was standing so far back,
Yeah.
which makes his underarm serve so much more potent. Because Tiem was serving like 180 beat as shit,
Yeah.
so he couldn't pull it off.
No.
Because Nick was on the baseline anyway. Tiem was basically back with the umpires used to be.
Yeah.
no longer this tournament.
So what actually are they doing there with those line umpires?
I think it's all Hawkeye.
It's all Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's all Hawkeye.
Because I thought I noticed they don't have the challenges anymore, but they
No.
just show when it's close,
Yeah.
right? Did you see that? in
Yeah,
the
I knew
games?
they didn't
Yeah.
have the challenges for this tournament, which I didn't know was because of. I didn't know it was all Hawkeye.
As far as I know, yeah.
Do we have an update on our man Max? Fuck, Lashley's
He's
gone
done.
to 16
He's
under.
done.
Yeah, we're
He's
fucked
done.
here.
Put a line through him. It
was fun while it lasted. I'll be betting on golf a bit more though. I think. Eddie.
I think so.
I think so.
But shout out to Nick.
Shout out to King. Love the King. Was there anything else King related that I was just wanting to mention before we move on?
Yeah, him doing Djokovic's celebration.
Oh,
in the
bruz,
doubles
he just
game.
has no respect for Djokovic whatsoever.
At all. Like, couldn't have less.
No. And I'm in a weird position, not really, but obviously I am in a Balkan household because Stephanie is half Croatian, half Serbian. She doesn't really give a shit, but her mum, they like all of them love Djokovic. Joko, as they call him. And look, we're not the biggest Djokovic fans in this room, mainly because we're pro King and King is anti Joko.
Well,
And Djokovic's
yeah,
a
no,
bit good.
that's half the truth.
That's half the truth.
But the other half is that we're pro Federer.
Well, that as well.
And Djokovic threatens his existence
sure.
as the GOAT.
But so does
and
Nadal, and I'm still pro Nadal.
yeah, but
you know?
we're exactly. But you can't be pro all three of them.
No, you can't.
You don't. There's not enough bandwidth.
No.
And I've chosen Team Nadal and Team Federer.
Federer.
Sorry, I have.
But yeah, Steph's mum, my mother-in-law, is a big fan of Djokovic, and so and then she was always talking about how Kyrgios is a fuckwit, and I'm always just like, yeah, you know, yeah, I get it. Yeah, they don't get on. I know. Yeah, like I can't get into it and be like, well, actually, the King's a legend.
Out of respect.
Exactly.
Out of respect to her.
Absolutely, she is.
Not to Djokovic.
No, she is my superior. Not the word elder. Is that the word? But that's like I don't want to say you're old. It's a.
You can say elder because they're older than you.
I know, but some people like don't say that. She wouldn't, but I'm just thinking in a sort of a tribal. Would you say elder?
Yeah, in a tribal setting, yeah.
In a tribal setting, elder.
I think so, yeah.
Sweet, she's my elder. With the greatest respect. Shout out to Marina, who I assume is not listening. Anyway.
That tennis.
King's a king. That's tennis. Ash Barty.
We're on the Ash Barty train.
We're on the
now.
Ash Barty train now. Not that we weren't, but now it's full
Well,
blown.
look, it's now 100% back on the Ash Barty train. Not that we hopped off, but we are now back on it.
Well, I think it was basically an Australia train, and as Australians fell off, it became the Australia train. All right, now it's now it's just solely
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Barty
Well, the
train.
Kyrgios carriage is now separated. And
Well, the
it's
Curious
being
carriage.
led
Well,
by the
it burnt.
Barty
Yeah, yeah.
carriage,
Look, they
you know.
cut it off, and now it's burnt. It's a rubble.
And then you think about someone like Alex de Minaur, who shout out to him, highest ranked Australian player, but he doesn't have anything about him from a sexy standpoint.
No, he's a
crowd work
He's a
standpoint.
fighter.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
But Barty, number one in the world, punters and dribblers, crushing people, taking souls.
Hasn't dropped a set.
She's crushing people. Australia hasn't had an Australian Open winner in some time.
Yeah.
I believe the 80s. So we are fucking due.
We are.
We've waited.
We've paid our dues.
We've paid them in full.
Yeah.
And now it's Barty time.
Time for Barty. But that's tennis. Let's move on, please. You know who's a fucking dribbler, just while we're on it? This will surprise no one. Kendrick Hatton. I fucking we don't really pay too much. Like, we're not really super active on Twitter, right? Yeah. But Kendrick fucking tagged us in something to do with Kyrgios and Kokkinakis. Off the back of a look at all these fucking look at this. So he tagged us in something. It was
So he's a tweeter.
Of course he is, mate. Kendrick wants to get in arguments with people on any fucking platform he can get his dribbly mitts onto, right? And he's tagged us under something, and it was Kyrgios. Maybe it was talking about Djokovic or something. Let me just see if I can find it. But it was just when he walked out and he was doing the doubles with Kokkinakis. Sorry, we're back on tennis. And he was doing the Djokovic taking the piss out of it. It's the empty crowd. And then Kendrick's just tagged us going, trolling at its finest here from King and Cock. Then Annie's gone back. Nick Kyrgios is clearly more accomplished at trolling than tennis. he's heading back to his hole in Canberra, isn't he? And then this is Kendrick again, like just engaging with these people. But Kendrick is a troll here. Okay, well he's just a dribbler. Wish people like you would zip it, Annie. Nick has played all 4 games of tennis in 12 months, and you want to give him shit for being narrowly pipped by the world number 3. Frankly, you have no qualifications to comment on what an elite athlete he is.
No qualification.
But also, like, how much of his bandwidth is taken up by getting into these? Because he loves a blue on the P's and D's page as well. And again, Kendrick,
He just loves a blue.
I love you, Kendrick. Dribblers make the world go round, and you are certainly one of them. But for fuck's sake. And then
Poor man's in a lockdown right now. He's probably just at peak, starting shit with people.
someone else has come in and gone, and what's he achieved with a full 12 months of gameplay, a full off-season of training? Then Kendrick, your tweet is literally impossible to comprehend due to such poor use of the English language. Again, like these pointless arguments, like the time of your life. And then this chick, English isn't everyone's first language, would suggest you endeavour to be a better human being, but given you support a bully like Nick Kyrgios, it probably isn't possible. So what you get here on Twitter is basically millions and millions of Kendricks all just fucking going at each other. And they all just want to keep doing it. Kendrick, Annie, one very quick look at this person's Twitter account shows that they are clearly Australian. Nick does more for society in his spare time and his foundation than you and I combined would probably ever be able to achieve for society. You wouldn't know that, but as a dribbler. Kendrick,
he said that.
Yeah.
Called someone else a dribbler.
Kendrick, you're a dribbler, dude. You're the biggest dribbler in town.
And we're getting tagged in all these.
Yeah, so because he tagged me in the first one.
Oh, you see all
every
of them.
reply we're tagged in, and I'm just like going, why the fuck are we getting all these tags? And it's Kendrick arguing with people on Twitter. I'm like, bruz, we get enough of that on fucking the P's and D's page.
He's got no quit in him. I'll give him that.
I just can't, Kendrick,
I'll give him that.
let us know if you got a missus. I'm interested to know.
Like to know. Love to know.
I realise you are in lockdown, but also, like, bruz, you spend so much time going back and forth with people on... Basically, you got away from the point within fucking one tweet, and it started being about who speaks the English language and looking at some guy's Twitter account and you're a dribbler, like, wild scenes. Wild scenes.
Oh,
anyway, that is now tennis. And Kendrick being a humongous dribbler.
Should we talk boxing?
Yeah. Rugby league fight night, Eddie. Talk us through. Well, I'm going to start with this. In 2021, to think that I want to watch a main event, I have to have a Foxtel set-top box is fucking absurd.
Doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I was fully just like, I was a bit crook Friday. As I said, I was going to stay in.
Yep.
I was just going to watch the fights at home and
Put your feet up.
Yahoo, put the feet up. And then I'm sitting there trying to get it. And they're like, what's your Foxtel login? I'm like, why would I have one of those? With the greatest respect. And then I ended up calling you. And I was like, dude, what the fuck's going on here? I can't get the fights. And you're like, no, dude, you need to have a Foxtel set-top box to watch main event fights.
Which no one has.
Of course no one has. Or if they do, then they're pretty
They're
old.
old.
I'm still flabbergasted.
They wonder why Australians illegally stream more fights than anyone else on the planet. It's like, because you don't give us a fucking choice.
Was it not even on KO?
No.
KO's working to do it. I do know that.
Because KO had the last
No,
fight,
but they pick and choose them. They're picking
they
and
had
choosing.
the Gallon
Why wouldn't you just have them all?
I don't know. UFC, at least you can buy online.
Yes.
UFC have gone the big lift for punters and dribblers the world over, and you can just buy the cards online. I've done it many, many times
Yes.
before. But, for example, Anthony Joshua versus the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, at some point this year, hopefully, if those motherfuckers screw us over and make you have the set-top box,
You have to go to a pub then.
you got to go to a pub. Because
just-
you don't want to... I'm not going to risk the illegal stream on that one.
No.
It's too big.
But it just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make business sense to me. Like,
No.
you are going to get so many...
I'll buy it.
I was going to buy it Friday night, and I didn't buy it. I just didn't watch it. I went, fuck this. Like, and like, I wasn't even... it wasn't a big enough thing for me to really go and comprehensively try and stream it. Like, come on. But it's just... It just makes no sense to me that in 2021, main event are so far behind that they don't have whatever the fuck the capability is for anyone to stream it online. And there were so many people on the P's and D's page, on Twitter and everything going like, does anyone have a stream for this thing? Because I don't have a set-top box at home because I am not 100 years old. Like, the amount of money they miss just by not having that as a thing.
I know. It's it makes no sense whatsoever.
Someone, if you've got
Is it
an
a
idea,
copyright thing?
Yeah, if
Like,
you know
It
why.
must be an exclusivity deal thing. That's the only thing I can think of.
But
he's
if it's-
got
but
No, but if I'm main
exclusive
event,
Foxtel.
or like I'm Foxtel, right? I'd be going, okay, if you've got Foxtel now, you can buy the fucking fight online. Like, you don't need the set-top box. That's the issue I've got.
Does Fox own main event?
No, main event's owned by this brand called Ardent Leisure, who also
Why don't they have their own website where you can buy the fights?
Or do they have it? Is main event exclusive to Fox? Again,
I think in the past it definitely has been. Main event has been exclusive.
It definitely
to
has been.
Foxtel.
yeah, right. So I mean,
But then KO started to get it. But KO is also Foxtel, which is why I don't understand why KO couldn't get this one when they're owned by the same people as Foxtel.
someone must know. Let us know, because it's fucking mind blowing. But anyway, Eddie,
We need to know.
you watched the fights.
I did. They
Please regale us.
They were a dribbly mess. That's what I'll say.
Boxing's not a night.
Well, I mean, look, you get really pumped up. This is me anyway. You get really pumped up about the prospect of leagueies punching on. But there's something about watching amateurs fight on TV that is just so beta. Like, because you're used to, or your mind or your eyes are used to professional boxers.
The best of
and
the best.
The best of the best, and the style in which fights are carried out. Like, they just fucking swing it at each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no guard. It's just haymakers
Yeah.
and fucking flailing jabs and
it's
shit.
almost like they've televised those corporate fight nights.
That's exactly what it is. Like, they're all at sea, these pricks.
Yeah.
Scott Prince and Carney. Carney definitely beat Prince in the first fight, and that was a draw. And then I was of the opinion, Jesus Christ, is this a wool pull? Are these all draws now?
Yeah.
That's sort of where I thought it was headed. Thank God it didn't, but...
Could you get footage up just quickly while we continue talking of Neville Costigan getting KO'd by Junior Paulo? Because I actually haven't seen that, but that was the only one where you were like, that I heard was like, okay.
But so,
well,
like, Willie Mason, I mean, he got the W we thought he would. That was closer, potentially,
some
than...
dribbler left a comment on our Checky bet going, oh, fuck, great tips, like Neil So, like getting ups. And I was like, mate, we picked 4 out of 6. One was a draw.
We picked 5 out of 6.
We
Picked
picked
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
The only one we didn't get was Gower beating Mango.
And the draw.
Yeah, but that
We
would have
just
been
wiped
voided.
that. Yeah.
So there was one we missed.
Yeah, I was like, what do we... Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
you got him. Take that back. Oh, not worth it.
I will say Junior Paulo looked probably the best of all of them in terms of...
Well, Paulo took it to Gal. Oh, he's fucked. Yeah, Neville's fucked. Wow.
I was putting in the stories on Friday night as well. No one, I don't think, in rugby league is scarier than Junior Paulo, and this just backed it up. He is sickening.
Bang.
Look at his arms, bro.
Yeah.
Look at his arms.
Oh, shit.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no, it's him and Payne Haas, but I think he's scarier than Payne Haas 'cause he's like, Payne's almost...
No, but it's something about Junior's complexion, his eyes.
Yeah.
You're just like, you
Yeah,
look
not-
at his
not
eyes.
complexion, not his
his
skin colour.
eyes. His eyes.
His eyes.
Look at
It's
his-
just there's like, because apparently also Junior Paulo is incredibly smart. If you've heard him speak, he's a very, very well-spoken individual, and he's apparently very intelligent.
Really?
Which makes him scarier almost, because it's like this really intelligent guy who then you can see behind the eyes has like a fucking, I don't know if it's like a switch that he has just control of to be like, all right, now I'm just going to eat people and truck nut and PCM out the arse.
Well, he loves PCMs.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what gets him out of bed in the morning. That and snapping people in half.
Yep. Speaking of snapping people in half, now we haven't heard back from our dear friend Jake Jaboyevich about whether he will snap us in half, but some guy who's a professional bull rider hit us up.
Yeah, saw that. Made a lot of sense. Made a lot of sense.
Let me get him up here.
A bull rider.
Yeah.
Like the 8 seconds.
Yeah,
kind of
like
rodeo
a professional
thing.
bull rider.
Yeah.
He where did he go here? Jack Finlay. Gents, I can help with the safety suit situation for when you get snapped by Jake Trebojevic. In the world of bronc riding and bull riding, we often wear protective vests. These vests definitely let you feel every bit of the snap, but somewhat protective. Definitely the kit for the job. Trebojevic snaps soon. So all I'd need to make sure is that I want to make sure that whatever we're wearing, if Jake ever comes around to it, doesn't injure Jake. Like, I don't want it to be like some sort of hard, plasticky sort of thing.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, but I mean, the last thing you want to do is have Jake wearing some like hard Perspex-y plastic safety suit.
Well, 100%.
Jake fucks his
100%,
shoulder.
100%. And I think that's reasonable of you, but I'm still not that concerned about Jake.
No. He'll break.
I'm like
more concerned for our own well-being.
Is there? I think there's a high chance of breaking something. Am I the only one that thinks that?
No, I agree with you. But that's why we're wearing a safety suit.
What is it enough for these bodies?
I'd be happy to have a rib broken by Jake.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
No, you would not.
I've broken a rib before. It's horrible.
Exactly.
But you can go around and say that Jake Trebojevic broke my rib.
Yeah, but
That's a badge of honor, Eddie.
I think getting snapped by him is the badge of honor. The broken rib is like, you got to live with that.
You can have some bruises and show.
You gotta
those
live with
off.
that.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
I guarantee if he broke your rib, you'd be going, I regret it.
Yeah, but I'd regret it while it was painful.
That's what I mean.
But then once it's better, mate, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever, whatever the hell that fucking Keanu Reeves line is in The Replacements. Great film. Shout out. I obviously don't want a broken rib. If I can have a choice of just being snapped, no broken rib, I take that. But I wouldn't mind if that was if that had to happen, it had to happen. And obviously, like, just a little break. I don't want to do like complete. I don't want to break heaps of ribs. Someone just knock on the door.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Hello. Sorry for that'll all get edited out, but punters, dribblers, if anything, is a reminder to lock the front door. We just had a 72-year-old Chinese gentleman named Albert who couldn't speak English.
Not a lick.
Not a lick. He was given the address of this studio as a place for social housing. He was a sweet older man. He fucking didn't know what was going on. Poor bastard's been given the wrong address. Monday. Talk about a shit start for a Monday for Albert.
Not ideal.
And, I'm out there trying to call these services that he's got numbers for, and they aren't answering probably before 9:30 on a Monday morning.
You'd think so, Tom.
And then one of them, I was on there for a little bit, and then, you think you're getting to the right spot, and then they just hang up on you, which I can only imagine. And then one of them, they go, if you need a translator, call this number. I'm like, well, if they need a translator, they aren't understanding what the fuck you just said to them. And Albert needs a fucking translator, and we just sent Albert off into the cold Sydney, well, it's not that cold, but, out of the big Sydney world, and I felt bad trying to get him a taxi, trying to give him some cash.
Elwood was a man of principles, though, and he turned them all down.
He was. He turned it all down. He was like, mate, I don't
But
need
he'd
this
come
shit.
from, like...
Hurstville, he said.
Yeah, that's a big trek. And he'd walked here from Central,
Yeah.
which isn't a short walk.
Bro, he's 72.
That's a trek.
Yeah.
He would have been up at first light.
Yeah. And just trying to, and I think he's like looking for somewhere to stay. I think he's got somewhere to stay currently, but he's trying to find, he looks like he's doing it tough. I felt bad for him.
Real tough. Shout out to Albert.
Shout out to Albert. Hope he's all good.
Hope you're listening.
And with the greatest respect to Albert, he might still be getting to Belvoir Street by the time we finish this podcast, so I might be able to go and help him the rest of the way. Who knows? But Albert, shout out to you, bro. That was weird. That was a very weird detour. And again, lock the doors.
Lock the doors.
Now,
Where do we get to?
I don't know where we got to. I don't know where we finished off. It probably had a lot to do with the fight night.
We were saying how scary Junior Paulo
Junior
is.
Paulo, terrifying. Loves eating meters. I don't know if there was a whole lot more, though.
No, I think that's boxing.
That was boxing. Couple of things to get to before we dribble. One of them just being quickly, obviously it's been a week since, but it was happening basically just as we finished the podcast last week, but Tom Brady, the GOAT, making it 7 Super Bowls. We don't, talk American sport all that often, but a pretty hectic
Just
achievement.
impressive.
And
Just impressive stuff.
off the back of it, the whole like greatest GOAT in sport all time sort of rhetoric starts up, right?
Apparently, people didn't used to talk GOAT chat that much. Like, apparently, it's sort of a semi-new.
Well, GOAT is a new
idea.
term. I remember
Yeah.
GOAT. Like the term GOAT has risen to prominence since we've been doing the podcast.
And now it's all anyone talks
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
People are
it's-
obsessed with it.
Well, it's an acronym that people get hard for acronyms, right?
They do.
Especially when
and the
acronym
emoji
is a
and
word.
emojis.
Yes.
Because the GOAT emoji is a great
The
one.
GOAT emoji, probably the most overused emoji and the most like casually thrown out. Like all you have to do is fucking just
Do we say greatest all time on this podcast a lot? Sure.
sure. But we
But we pioneered.
We also know what we're talking about, and we were at the forefront of the GOAT.
Yeah. I mean,
not
there's
saying-
no,
I'm not saying
there's
that
no
we-
coincidence that we started this podcast and the rise of the GOAT occurred.
Yeah.
No coincidence.
No coincidence
None.
at all.
None. In terms of the rise of the GOAT, definitely due to the podcast. But it was
certainly
first termed in September 1992 by Muhammad Ali's wife, who incorporated Greatest of All Time Incorporated for Muhammad Ali's intellectual properties. So
Huge.
GOAT Incorporated was his kind of...
That's
Brand.
so dope, and yet it didn't take off until what 2015.
Weird. But not that weird
Not
because we
that
just
weird.
explained why.
Yeah, we did. But
But a lot of GOAT chat going on. Shitloads of GOAT chat.
and
And articles published.
articles published again. So this one was sent to us by, what would he be? He's Steph's cousin. I was thinking about what that relationship is to me. Antonio, shout out. But it was basically best GOATs of all time. But it was written.
Who was it written by?
Piers Morgan.
So that doesn't necessarily hold a lot of weight, but it was the one that we saw and it was interesting to see. So here's his top 10 off the back of Brady winning 7. Number 10, Ayrton Senna, Formula 1.
Ayrton Senna.
Ayrton, forgive me. Number 9, Wayne Gretzky, ice hockey. I don't like that because it's a very fucking...
But Wayne Gretzky dominated.
I know he dominated. It's more just like, it's not a global sport.
But also neither is NFL, really.
And that was reflected in the fucking...
Oh, yeah. You're right
Michael
about that.
Phelps, number 8. Roger Federer, number 7. Interesting that, I mean, if you've got Federer there, does Nadal, or is it just because Nadal was so dominant on clay that you just go, sorry, bro, you're not in there?
Well, I think that's what he's saying without saying it.
7 is Federer, 6 is Tiger, 5 Cristiano. That's interesting because of Messi, Pele, et al.
I think Cristiano's too high on that list. That's just me personally.
You think it
Fifth?
should be lower?
I don't
Yeah.
think he should be fifth.
Again, global sport like fucking soccer though, and he's...
He hasn't won a World Cup.
Yeah, but that doesn't have that's such an unfair metric to define the greatest of fucking like Wally Lewis never won a premiership and he was the greatest in rugby league for a minute. Like he's got 10 other dead shits on his team he's got to deal with.
That's
Like,
true. But I still, yeah, it's true. But it's not like Portugal are a bad side.
No, they're not.
They're a good side. It's
But
not.
they're
It's
not-
not. He's not Australian working with fuck all.
No. Dave, where's that gone?
Dave, where's it gone?
Dave, where's that gone?
Dave, where's it gone?
Where's the list gone? Number
But
4.
yeah, good point. I just think that it's quite. He's quite high considering half the fucking planet thinks Messi's better than him.
Yeah. Now, number 4, I agree with you there. I do. I think it was a surprising one.
Yeah.
Number 4, Usain Bolt. I like it, but I also don't like it.
Why?
I don't know. There's an element where
Almost everyone can run. First and foremost,
100%. Everyone mostly can run.
almost everyone can run,
And
right?
it's
And
the
for
great
him to
human
dominate,
leveler.
and for him to be the quickest of all time,
Yeah, I know.
literally, no one's been quicker than him.
Yeah.
And he won the fucking 100, 200, 3 Olympics in a row.
You're right.
Like,
I retract that.
I
retract it.
I think he's right where he should be.
It's the remnants of the flu. Now, number 3, Muhammad Ali. Now, this is a questionable one because in the boxing world, he's not actually even considered the greatest boxer of all time. He's the most influential. He's one of the great heavyweights of all time. But I think in
the
terms
greatest
of
boxer of all time is
Sugar.
no, not Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah, so Sugar Ray Robinson's
Most boxing pundits say Sugar Ray
Say
Robinson.
Sugar Ray. There's a couple though. There's Sugar Ray Robinson. Then I think there is like a Mexican guy whose name I can't remember, and some dude, someone Jackson or something. Anyway,
George Foreman or something.
No, not George Foreman, but certainly Sugar Ray's one that I remember where it's like Sugar Ray Leonard or is it Sugar Ray Robinson?
No, Sugar Ray Robinson.
I don't know.
Sugar Ray Leonard was sick though.
But Muhammad Ali is a cultural icon as well as a great boxer.
But I think that in some ways underpins greatness a little bit, right? Like, greatness is part how you're embraced by society, I think, to a degree. Like Roger Federer, for example, people at the French Open
turn against their country.
turn against their own countrymen when Roger's playing.
Yeah.
The world over. I don't need the French is just one of many examples where that happens. That I think is greatness. That speaks to greatness.
Yes, it does. Number 2, Michael Jordan. I mean, you can't really argue with that.
No, I don't think so. But number one's great.
Number 1,
And cannot be argued.
can't be argued, is Sir Donald Bradman. Again, statistically just indisputable, like how far greater he is than every other person that's played the game that he plays. You have your Jordans, you have all this sort of shit, but cricket, global sport, and this motherfucker has had no one come close to him.
Not even close. I think
Kelly Slater, though.
Kelly Slater you took the words out of my mouth. Kelly not being on that list
Where
is
the fuck is
disgraceful.
Kelly Slater? Like, who would you get rid of? I'd get rid of Wayne Gretzky for Kelly Slater.
I get rid of Cristiano Ronaldo.
I'd get rid of Cristiano for Kelly Slater.
You could argue that Kelly should be second on the list.
You could argue that.
He's like the Don Bradman of his sport.
Yeah. And in terms of like statistically how much better he is than everyone
And he's
else.
still doing it. And he's like fucking, how old is he now?
49. Had his
49.
birthday last week. Happy birthday, Kel.
Like, crazy.
You could argue he was 2.
You could argue. You can make a great argument he's 2 and that Jordan's 3. You can make that argument. You can make it all day. I think the fact that Tom Brady, who has now won more Super Bowls than any other franchise, he beats every franchise in the NFL.
Yeah.
The fact that he's not on the list, I find a little surprising.
Yeah, I can understand that.
They're not easy to win.
No, they're not. That's what
They're really tough.
Yeah.
And quarterback, they say, the most mentally challenging position in any sport. Like,
Who's they? That's bullshit.
no. But what you got to know,
Yeah. You got to be a
what you got to know is fucked. Again, you can debate that, but that's what people say. And the fact that he's won 7 in the key position where, like, you have so much more influence in that position in a sporting team than fucking a lot of others.
Plus, he just did it with a new team.
And he did it with a new team at 43. I think he's hard done not to be on that list. That's all I'm saying.
If they got Gretzky in there, it's hard
If
not
you
to
got
put Brady
Gretzky in there, yeah. And also, let's remember that this is.
And he's
Piers
got
Morgan.
Senna on there, who last time I checked wasn't the greatest in the sport in terms of wins.
Yeah. Look, Piers Morgan.
Schumacher and Hamilton are.
Piers Morgan.
He might be a bit of a purist, though.
Well, Piers, though, not exactly.
But Piers a dribbler.
Yeah,
Piers a dribbler. He's made a career on dribbling.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to go down all-time great dribblers, that bloke.
Piers is like what? Piers is if Kendrick had a TV career, or a media career. But yeah, so look, I like that. I like that Don's where he should be. That's clearly an English list, though, like a list from an Englishman. But that's also what makes it better, is that like...
Well, sort of. I'm
An
surprised
Englishman-
he hasn't got Hamilton on there for 10 instead of Senna.
He's a dribbler.
But, I mean, if you're going down the...
I just more meant because he's English and he has to name an Aussie as the greatest fucking athlete of all time. That's a real flex,
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I get you. Look, I mean, that'll get the tongues wagging,
Yeah,
that
it will.
list.
It will. Let us know if you think there's anyone that should have been.
This is what I will say. This is what I will say, punters and dribblers. He has unquestionably nailed first spot.
Yes.
He's got that right.
Yeah.
You can debate the rest until the cows come home, and you should. But he's nailed number 1. Mm-hmm. And I respect that.
Yep. Now, I think we move on from the GOAT debate. Shout out to Tom Brady and Tampa Bay, who, just pumped them. Like they
Wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close.
Absolutely pumped them.
It wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. So anyway, well done.
Shout out to the Super Bowl, which,
It's cool.
is okay.
Yeah.
Look, I'll put it this way: it's no state of origin.
No, it's not. There's not that level of fucking.
It doesn't reach crescendos, I don't think.
Or at least
I think
if it does, it's only like if it's rant.
but it's the stop-start nature of it. I think that
Doesn't
sort
allow
of
for
robs it of
pressure, tension building.
yeah. Don't you think?
Yeah. Every change of offense defense is just like a pressure valve changes. You're just like, okay.
It just goes a bit flat,
And it's like, all right, we get
and the
down
commentators don't go to Rab's heights.
there. No. It's hard to. Rab's GOAT. How about that fucking streaker who apparently was on like exotic betting?
We should talk about that. Now, has that been confirmed? Because it seems to me
like that's an easy one to do.
like
almost.
that is easy to rig to some degree. Like what bookie is taking 50 grand on that? Because you just go to yourself, fuck, some cunt might just do it for 50 grand.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And also, it seemed surely he'd collected the money before he starts posting that shit on the internet.
You'd have to.
You'd have to, right? Otherwise, you look like a fucking idiot. I just think the bookies would be a bit like, well, hang on, bruh.
This seems a little.
Hang on, bruh.
Harry McClary.
Yeah, so apparently, this article posted 3 days ago has said that all the bookies have cancelled his bets.
There you go. What a dead shit.
That's so dumb.
Bookie company Bovada revealing that they will be cancelling any bets connected to his name.
You see, like you can't do that. You can't do that.
You can though. Get the payout first.
No, but what I'm saying is you can't expect them to pay you out once they find out that you'd fucking like hoodwinked them.
No.
The bookies don't handle that. They've got like clauses in there being like basically we can do whatever the fuck we want at the end of the day.
Don't try wool pullers, bro.
There's a wool pull clause in there, mate.
Yeah.
And when I was reading this stuff, I'm going, am I going mad? What bookie alive is comfortable with this hoodwink?
What dumbass though?
Who's
you
comfortable
say
with a wool pull?
nothing until you get that money in your account.
Yeah,
You say
obviously
nothing.
Well, he's obviously a dead shit.
What a dumb fuck. One more thing before we get into the dribbles, Eddie. I happened across James O'Connor of Rugby Union fame's Instagram last night. James has just been named as the stand-in skipper for Queensland because their captain, Liam Price, I believe his name is, or Liam, scroll down to the bottom and you see what the fucking name of his captain's called. Liam Wright. Liam Wright is injured. But it was more about James's fucking like message that he's put up. Like the caption for his post, basically that he's been named as captain.
Yeah.
Isn't that, firstly, just to the issue, isn't that the footballer's pose when it's like, I'm serious and ready for action? Holding the football 2 hands, head tilted down but eyes like facing
Well,
forward.
it's time honoured, Tom.
Yeah.
It's the business time pose.
I'm ready to rock.
It's the business time pose. We all know it.
Yeah.
It's probably more prevalent, I would say, in rugby union than rugby league.
Potentially, yeah.
Just because I think that, you know, the rugby union player more inclined to let everyone know it's business time.
Business time. I'm so serious.
You know what I mean?
Firstly, congratulations to James O'Connor to be named as the stand-in skipper because he has been on quite a sort of
roller coaster?
A roller coaster of a career, right? Ups, downs, smiles, frowns. But so, you know, nice to see that he's been able to come back to Australia and sort of right some wrongs. James, though, he's into this thing called Saviour World. Now, can you just click into Saviour World first, Dave? Because he's tagged it in the post. Saviour World is sort of like knowledge for men, join the male revolution.
I was trying to work out what the fuck this was.
Yeah.
No offense.
No, well, I mean, it's like something about like
Are these like...
men stepping into their fucking masculinity and like being
But
men,
are these
men.
trading cards?
Well, they look like it right now. Raiden, what will I learn? You will learn a specific affirmation that will teach you how to cultivate the younger generation. Okay, like whatever. It's a bit woo-woo.
Sure.
That's all. Just on face value. Obviously,
But, you know, woo-woo is everywhere.
woo-woo's everywhere, and if it works for you, then woo-woo's the thing to do.
Yeah, for you.
For you.
If you're into woo-woo.
If you're into woo-woo, it's the thing for you, you know.
So, look, High Five by Kronos. What will I learn?
Yeah.
You will learn Dave,
Dave, what are you doing?
Dave,
bro?
come
You're
on.
Mid-read.
Go back to the Kronos thing.
Mid-read. Oh, my God.
There it is.
There it is.
Okay. High Five by Kronos. What will I learn? You will learn a 3-step plan that will take you as a man from survive to thrive and a universal high five.
Woo-woo for you is the thing to do.
Woo-woo for you is the thing to do, if woo is for you.
Yes. Could we just go now? The Saviour World caption, my bro. This is what you need to know about our latest post. Okay, I'm not going to go to Saviour World if you want to know. Can we? Was there a bio in the Saviour World? Did we say that? Yeah. What? Knowledge for men. Join the male revolution.
SaviourTheWorld.com. Click on that.
Click on SaviourWorld.com.
You can subscribe.
Won't be doing that.
No, I just want to know how much it costs. Go to subscribe.
Subscribe there. Yeah, that's a great point. What's that going to cost me? It's all cartoons and cards and really muscly, shirtless cartoons.
£333 a month.
I mean,
So
it's not breaking the bank.
No, it's not breaking the bank.
But it's all very like muscular cartoon.
Watch that video down. Go down.
Yeah, okay. Let's
What
watch
is
this.
that?
Do we need headphones in here? Right. Saviour World is basically some sort of thing that James O'Connor subscribes to. He's a part of. He's always pumping it up. We'll get to James's Instagram.
I wonder if
shortly.
he owns part of it.
Possibly. Kid at home, scrolling through photos of Jack dudes. This is fucking weird.
He's just kind of discovered his sexuality.
Dude,
What's he gonna?
He looks like
he's crying.
tear rolling.
Oh, is he
down the
crying
mouth.
because he's not as ripped as everyone else?
Potentially. He looks a bit like Moses.
Hey, bro. I know you've been having a tough time lately. I wanted
I wanted to help. Comes from Jake.
go here to save your world.
Alright, subscribe. I still don't know what this is though.
Neither do I. I think it's like,
This is like anime shit.
Some sort of self-help.
Yeah.
is it self-help anime?
Muscly men.
Ripped, tads.
Dude, so jacked.
They're all ripped as shit.
And this guy's looking at him like this is how you a bit of Power Rangers, our powers combined.
Oh, look at these.
All fisting.
Oh, they're getting him jacked.
Oh yeah, get jacked, dude.
Listen to the music. Fuck, this doesn't get you out of bed.
Oh,
Nothing
a
will.
bit of jiu-jitsu there, choking out a muscly guy. Honestly, if you're listening to this going, what the fuck are they talking about? You should be asking this up.
Go to saviourworld.com.
They're on the top of the mountain.
Go to the subscribe page and watch the video.
Ego equals 1 over knowledge.
That's the life metric.
That's the life.
Oh, now he's
now he's
jacked.
ripped.
And he's,
He hasn't. He needs a new t-shirt.
well,
He's wearing the same t-shirt.
he's
from
also
the
been
time.
in a solarium.
He's got a bit of a tan.
He's got a
Knock, knock.
tan.
You ready to start the day? Is that mum and dad? Oh yeah.
Better believe it. Eyebrow. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Exclamation mark.
That was all over the space of one night when he went
Subscribe.
there, woke up and it's-
So what we're going to do, Dave, is we're going to rip that video down and we're going to turn this into a video and we'll have that in the... Because I don't know what the fuck just
I
happened.
don't know what I just watched.
But anyway, that's obviously... That is obviously Dave... Maybe James O'Connor's the kid in that video,
Possibly.
in a sense. You know what I mean?
I think that's probably a
But
fair
can we go
assumption.
back to James's Instagram post? Just because this is what he... This is... He basically, inspired by Saviour World, put up a post about the fact he's been named as skipper, stand-in skipper. So, the caption starts with, the role of captain in caps. I'm deeply honoured to step in as interim captain for a team that I am most proud to play for. And after spending some time in the idea of it with Saviour World, I wanted to share some insight. Okay. What I've come to understand is that this is a privileged position. I am not actually a leader. I know that sounds strange, but hear me out. My job is not to see myself as a leader. Rather, it is to allow the energy of leadership to work through me, Eddie. My job is not to own the identity of leadership of a captain, for that is to make it about the identity of me, the ego. My job is actually to allow the great energy of leadership to work through me as a conduit for its energy. Now, how do I do this job? James
I'd like to know.
The specific intention must be to serve others by not listening to others. Again, this might sound strange, but when allowing this energy to work through you, there can be no distraction from its call. Leadership is an energy, a genetic code that has been contributed to by many great men, leaves out women. And when you receive the honor of being a conductor of its power, you must listen.
You must.
And this is what I plan to do, James is saying. So that's good. Thank you, Reds Rugby, for the honour. To my teammates, my intention will be you, whilst listening to what is working through. Don't know what that means. I would also like to wish Liam Wright a speedy recovery. I will do the role justice until you return, brother. Again, congratulations to James. I will say this. He is 100% ready to rip for the standing captaincy. Imagine if he gets named full-blown captain.
Well,
Imagine what he's writing then.
I'd love to see it. I will say this, and to back you up, he's ready.
Yeah, he's ready. Look at that.
The photo tells a story of a man who's ready.
Yeah.
And having been on Saviour World and
Seeing what they're about.
seeing what they're about and, been impressed more than anything by their pitch, I know the Reds are in safe hands.
Yep. For, what is
The
it?
foreseeable future.
I don't know how long Liam Wright's injured for. Can we look into that? Because, it could be like 3 games.
Damn right.
Don't tell
Yeah.
me it's a game.
Yeah, because that's also something we need to know. Because if it is only a couple of games, then I feel like this is also maybe a little bit of pageantry. You know what I mean? Like, he must be.
yeah.
He must have done like.
Nah, he's
ACL.
expected to be sidelined for up to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Okay.
was,
I'll allow it.
Like last week.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
That's a good chunk of change.
Yeah,
That's
is.
more than half the season.
No, that's a long time. That might be the whole season for the Super Rugby.
I think so. It doesn't go for longer than that.
No,
It shouldn't.
No, you should definitely shouldn't.
So there's a bit more on Saviour World that I'm finding here.
Yeah, please.
that day.
Please.
So apparently it's helped a few athletes kind of turn themselves around a bit.
Okay.
It doesn't look like O'Connor's kind of involved, like, financially.
Sponsor.
Yeah, but there is a Daily Mail article saying about how O'Connor kind of turned himself around and some other athletes have. It says here the group's practices include sitting shirtless in a circle while exhaling heavily, lugging heavy rocks up and down on the sand, and drinking a concoction known as morning juice.
What's in morning juice? What's in morning juice?
We might have to get ourselves some
Morning
juice
juice.
for a start of the potty on a Monday.
Yes.
He's preparing morning juice, a concoction made from 2 lemons, a bottle of apple cider vinegar, and spring water.
Fuck. Okay, it's not that.
That's not that hectic.
He's making it there.
But maybe we'll make some morning juice.
I think that just sounds like it's good for indigestion.
Yeah, but also like you're not breaking the fucking.
Apple cider's like...
Everyone's been telling you to have apple cider vinegar
And lemon,
for the longest time.
yeah.
Like, so that's
Yeah.
some sort of alkaline shit. Again, we are looking at a Daily Mail article, so like I'm sure they're not.
James
gonna be...
O'Connor works with wellbeing organisation Saviour World. Go down.
It's
Go
just.
down.
So Danny Cipriani and Joachim Noah as well were on this.
Well, Danny needed some help at some point, didn't he? Danny was a bit of a wild child.
So is there trading cards at all? Or is that just their aesthetic?
I think that's their aesthetic. I don't think it is actually.
Knowledge for man. Why you should wrestle rather, and starving your darkness. Key practices. So key practice is to drink the morning juice.
And like, I mean, at the end of the day,
That's a
can't...
big rock.
Yeah, it is a big rock. Well, he's a weapon, dude. James O'Connor's fucking humongous.
He's huge.
Like, you can't knock anyone if whatever works for you. You
It's
know what I
working.
mean? But it's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's certainly interesting.
Go check it out yourself, saviourworld.com.
Go check it out, saviourworld.com.au. Congratulations, James, on the captaincy. Let's dribble. These fucking bald ads are just criminal.
Why do you say that?
Yeah,
Oh, because
why do
they,
you say that?
because we've
Personal
because we've spoken about this before about how they make balding dudes feel bad about losing their hair. It's like, bruh, firstly, if they tell you they're gonna fucking help you grow your hair back, they're lying, because otherwise, they'd be fucking humongous. It'd be like, yeah, we make hair grow back, but all of them are like, we might help you regrow your hair. We could help you regrow your hair, and all of them end up making out that like there's something wrong with going bald, and there's like, It's just one of those things where, again, Eddie, you and I, even D or Dave, we couldn't be further from bald. Our hair is gorgeous. It doesn't quit. It's like...
It ain't got quit.
It ain't got quit in it, right? So it's not like we're coming from a place of like even concern at this point, but everyone's got friends that are bald. I'm sure there's a lot of P's and D's out there who are bald. And it's like... I got a mate who's got a perfect head of hair, but we used to bag him out at school that he was going bald just because we were taking the piss, right? And so he got Chinese hair growth pills. His hair was fucking fine. He was never going bald ever. But like, imagine we're doing that as like friends.
Who was that?
I won't say his name, but we were like, we were doing that like, friendly bullshit shit talk, right? And we just found him in his drawer like a couple of months later. We were like, that's hilarious. But that is the equivalent of like, that's like friends talking some shit. This is on TV all the time where it's like, for one of those Ashley and Martins, they're like interviewing this guy and his girlfriend's there, and she's like fucking bagging him out, like, I just thought, what happened to your hair? And he's like, oh, thank God you said something to me. And now
The best ones are when the guy doesn't recognize his own reflection.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize he was going bald, and then he sees a bald guy and he's like, wait, what?
Who's
Is
that bald
me?
guy
Who's
in
that
the
bald guy?
TV? Oh shit, it was me. And it's like, no, dude.
No.
And also, you know what? If you are going bald, that's okay. And no, it's not going to regrow. That's just the way it is. Anyway, that was just an ad we saw on the TV. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
we're still watching the golf.
Still watching the golf.
Homer
Max
didn't
Homer
win.
didn't win. Has he finished?
I think so, yeah.
Fuck.
Don't
All
worry.
right.
It's all over.
It's all over. Let's dribble.
It's true.
Hey, Perth dribbler here. I was just thinking just before, because I was at the bottle shop, do you reckon it's weird, say with like, the six-pack, the packs of six-pack stubbies that got the handle on it, or your cartons of, piss with the two cutouts at the top that you're supposed to use to carry shit around, or like even on the likes of like KFC zinger boxes with the handle on top. You never fucking use the handle. I mean, I feel like everyone's done it maybe once, and then they've realised that it's not strong enough to hold the weight of the thing that it's carrying, and you've got beer or KFC on the floor. Like, I'm sure there's a fucking better way around this shit. Like, they got to redesign them so the thing that they've put on to make it easier actually fucking works. Like, because I feel robbed there's the handle on the box of piss is right there to use, but if you put your fingers in there, you're like a fucking psychopath, and the second you take the weight of it, there's rips going through the corners, and it's going to go badly, and especially if you got, a box of stubbies, it's going to smash everywhere. You look like a fucking idiot. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Just, kind of useless shit that I need to top up on. Yeah, cheers, Usain.
Sure.
Also, on a side note, Dave, why does it always sound like you got food in your mouth? Like, literally, every time you talk, it sounds like you've just, taken like a big mouthful of chips or some shit. Anyway.
I haven't noticed.
No.
I don't know. I've never got that before.
Look, in terms of his question about handles, the only handles that I find consistently let me down are the top of a VB 30-pack. So 30-pack of cans,
cubes.
that handle always rips.
Yeah.
The Zinger box never ripped for me.
The Zinger box not that heavy. The structural integrity
No.
of the Zinger
Like,
box.
what do you got in there, mate? Like, if you're using that box to carry other things after you've finished your meal.
Like luggage and shit.
Yeah. Like, if you're checking that in and you got fucking luggage in it for an overseas flight, it might let you down.
Or using it as like a handbag.
But if you're using it for
what it's intended.
a Zinger box, which is 3 wicked wings, chips, burger, and a potato and gravy, it'll do the job.
It'll do the job. Sometimes
Unless you get it wet.
yeah, or like it's a
Carry it in the
particularly
rain or
greasy
something.
batch, maybe, I don't know. But then the six-pack of beer, the cardboard six-pack thing, like, I use that. I still use it. Yeah, there are times when that will break. But, and probably more often than not, I'm carrying it underneath. Because I'm not necessarily trusting
I think the Corona ones, I think they fucking deliver.
I often will just hold the tops of the two beers, if we use a Corona one as an example, as opposed to like jamming the fingers in, I'll just hold like the end of it. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I also don't think
No,
that it's...
not really.
Well, so if the beers are popping up, 6, see how I'm doing it here? I'll just hold the
2-2-2.
tops of that, the hot tops of like the two end ones and just sort of walk with it like that.
Ooh, no, that seems
That
way
seems
more
dangerous.
precarious. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm sure it is.
That seems dangerous.
Max
to me.
Homer, 13 under. Fuck.
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah, so like I think he's probably too concerned. I don't think it's too much of an issue. But again, look, we always appreciate people calling on, even if it is completely fucking stupid.
We do. That's a good point.
G'day, D or Dave, interns Tom and Eddie, the punters and the dribblers, the wannabe influencer dribbler back here. Just got to work a bit early thanks to some constant green lights, so got to be thankful for that. Sitting in the car, scrolling through Instagram, come across this page called Jersey_Lord, and he always posts up, or she, whatever, posts up some cracker jerseys, and I'm just having to scroll through, and I don't ever think that South Sydney has produced a nice jersey. I'm looking here through some retro Cronulla jerseys. Panthers always have a good one. An old fucking 1998 Milk jersey, unreal. Never seen a good South one. What's been your personal favourite? And sick jerseys soon. South shit jerseys forever.
Look, I would have to disagree with him on the South thing because I think the simplicity of the South jersey is kind of what made it good. It was just red and green, or cardinal.
Just the
and metal.
hoops.
Yeah.
Just red and green hoops. I like it.
I like it as well. I just think it's simple.
I think it's
right?
iconic.
I think the more simple you make them, often the better. So, like the old school Manly ones, like, well, let's just show. We've got
I like
we're
that
on here.
Canberra one
that
at the
Canberra
top.
one at the top,
That's
just
sick.
in the middle, green, nothing on it. I liked the Sanyo Penrith one because that's when they won it in 03, and that was just again, it's pretty fucking simple, right?
Yeah.
Again, if you're asking me what my favourite is, there's some obviously the old school Manly jersey, but the Pepsi Max 90s Manly jersey was pretty good.
Got that.
Yeah, I used to have it.
Do you guys remember a few years ago when like the Warriors?
I like
Powers-
that. I like
Pow-
that one.
The
yeah,
Powers
the
Broncos
Penrith
jersey.
with the red and yellow and green. I rate that.
Yeah, that one
That-
there.
yeah.
Dude, that one's dope.
But do you remember a few years ago the Warriors would just have like a different jersey almost every game?
Yeah.
They would just like
Yeah, but they're the
mixing it up
kings
all
of
the time.
fucking
Yeah.
just trying to drum
Dude,
up merch.
I made 'em
I
up.
don't like that South jersey.
No, that one's
crown
weird
was
friend
the
of the
one.
show, Nick Hudson. I don't know if it's his cousin, brother-in-law, or just a mate, but I like that South one as well.
Yeah, the Smith's
classic.
Christmas one's
Smith's
good.
one.
Smith's Christmas.
But yeah, his mate, he's got like every single Warriors jersey ever. And I don't know where his Instagram is, but it's like all he has is Warriors.
He's got all of them.
I think so. He's got fuckloads. It's absurd. Don't mind that old school Roosters one to the left. Don't mind, the right. Or that Tigers one.
Tigers one's
Again,
cool.
look, people aren't watching this, so we could go forever. But yeah, I think he's wrong with the South call. The Knights one as well when they won in '96 was a sick jersey. That might have been it. The impulse to the right, just straight up.
I like that Storm jersey. I've got the yellow 99
Yeah,
one.
the
I've got
Storm one.
that.
The yellow was good.
But
Again-
The Bears one, that red one there, that one's dope.
The North Leagues one's
North Leagues
sick.
one's good.
Again, we could be here all day.
We could be here all day. No one can see. Dave, you could turn it in. You can when you make the podcast though. You'll have to put these.
I'll put
videos-
some in. I'll put some good
Just a
ones.
scroll.
Yeah.
Tom, Eddie, Eeyore, Hunters, and the Dribblers. This is a Townsville dribbler here. Thought it'd be remiss of me not to request a shout out for Kyle Mayers, West Indian batsman, 28 years old, on debut, first class average of 33, went into the first test, fourth innings, and knocked out 210 not out. Fucking unreal. Only 5 other people had done that in the history of cricket, and only one other person had done that for a victory. He now averages 250, which I believe is about 190 better than Adam Voges. Anyway, shout out to the stats man and Windies revival soon. And who's your favourite Windies player? Yes.
Yeah, great dribble that one.
Well, strong West Indies is strong for
cricket, yeah.
That's that's what you want.
200 and something on debut is fucking ridiculous. It's good. What did he? Do we know what he came in? What he was batting?
No.
He was somewhere middle order.
Because I mean, like if you're coming top of the order, you're meant to be good, right? If you're like lower down the order and you're pulling that off, that's wild.
No, he was kind of middle because he bowled a few overs as well, I think.
That's huge. My
and-
favourite West Indies player right now is that huge.
Yeah,
fat
Rakeem
fucking
Cornwall.
spinner.
He took 9 wickets in the test that they just won.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And he
Love
took
that.
the winning catch after bowling a 30-over spell.
Love it. But yeah, that's wild scenes. Anyway, I don't know what else there is there. That was a little bit ago, wasn't it?
Dribbly.
Tom, Eddie, Turncoat, P's and D's. It's the rub and tug dribbler here of never getting his dribble aired, as it apparently was too rogue fame. Big shout out to the Platypus Boys, the official water polo team of the podcast, who managed a famous 5-3 win over the Farlaps last night up the Puss. Not too far away from the NRL fights, which has got me thinking that we should organise something fairly similar, but for the P's and D's. Plenty of ideas for the card. The OG Battle of Bankstown, Tom versus Smicko. One I'd personally love to see would be the mighty Molong Magpies dribbler versus that Derek Blaney Bears dribbler. Potentially cage match of Big Tasty and the Tasty Boys versus Eden and Jonah's Buenos birthday boys. Bit of recent beef between the Adam Bogus dribbler and Cum Dog, and I'm sure those fucking dribblers who listened to Nilso last week and his fucking tits would have an excuse to flog the fuck out of him anyway.
Well, Swanton, Nilsson.
There's plenty of potential there, I reckon. And I'm sure our boy Exotic would love to fucking MC the evening. Now, in regards to tonight's fight, I'm pretty interested to see what music the boys would choose to walk out to, which leads me to my
Done this as
question
well.
for you, Tom, Eddie, and Dior. If you were in a professional fight, what song would you walk out to? Dior, I'm going to have a guess and say that yours would be I'm a Turncoat by Marcus Finocchiaro. See you soon. Love and tug soon.
Look, great dribble. We have covered. I mean, listen, there's no shortage of dribbler feuds that, because I mean, the last time this was brought
You
up,
wouldn't run out.
the last time this was brought up, there were different dribbler feuds, and now more have developed, as is the nature of the show. Really, these things bubble along nicely. So yeah, look, something we could consider at some point down the track. We have also already talked about what song we'd walk out to. I think I said Paul Kelly's Don Bradman, which is about a 7-minute song, so I'd need to really pace out the entrance.
I got no idea what I said. I can't remember.
I think you actually just said that you're like, yeah, I think I'd go with that as well.
Yeah, I probably did. Look, thanks for the dribble, bruh.
Love it.
Hey boys, it's the Kempsey dribbler here. I'm in the Hunter Valley. Just wondering what your choice of red wine is. I've got no idea, mate. I'm not a red wine drinker. Need a bit of advice. Obviously not for right now because you'll hear this later, but for future reference. Anyway, thanks boys. Fuck you, Dave. Cheers. Be soon.
I'll tell you what, there is an app if you're ever fucking struggling. Let me get it up, the name of it. This isn't an ad. This is just punters and dribblers helping each other.
Yeah.
It's called Vivino. Download it, and then you just take a photo of the label, and it'll fucking send you back
A little bit
what
of
it
a
should
write-up.
be priced out of 5,
Really?
people's reviews of it and shit.
Wow.
Which can help when you're like, I don't know what the
Dude, I'm
fuck's
definitely
going
going to get that. In terms of what red I go for, Eddie, I'm a equal opportunity pisshead. I'll drink anything red. But, like, I'd say I'm probably more a Shiraz man. Shiraz a bit heavier.
on. Yeah.
I don't mind a Pinot, but it's light. It doesn't feel like it kicks you in the dick as much.
I
You know?
don't love a Pinot as much
No,
as a
it's a bit
Shiraz.
watery.
Yeah, it is.
But a
little bit.
Shiraz has some nuts to it.
Yeah, it's got some nuts to it. It knows what it's about.
Yeah.
You can't go past most wineries or most bottle shops as well will have like recommended things. And generally speaking, I think they help.
Yeah.
Because fuck me, mate. Like, there is hundreds and hundreds and
Thousands.
hundreds and hundreds and thousands of different brands.
Can I give a Chardonnay tip? And this is the greatest Chardonnay. I mean, not going around, obviously, but it's the greatest Chardonnay in terms of like affordable quality Scarborough Chard. Scarborough Chardonnay, yellow bottle cap, Scarborough Chardonnay. It's about $30, 25. Actually, it might even be less than 30. It's between 20 and 30, basically. So you're not, but it tastes phenomenal. And everyone I've introduced it to has been like, holy shit, I've converted a lot of people. Scarborough Chard, obviously not red wine, but if you ever want to try and impress the missus or something, you're like, oh, just thought we'd have a bit of a, some wine and cheese. I got this Chardonnay. Apparently it's really good. You pretend like you're up and about and you know this sort of shit. Scarborough Chard. Again, not an ad. Scarborough Chard.
Just dribblers helping dribblers. Let's press on.
Oh, hi there. It's Piggy Smalls from Dubbo, from Swine fame. First-time caller and short-term listener as well. Look, I just wanted to get your thoughts around the cheese, Brendan Smith, and what about him coming to Manly? I just think he's kind of the man that we kind of need at the moment. I just think, well, obviously, fuck the Storm, and we'll always remember 40-0. But I just think he's a leader of men. He'd be great for the game if he actually plays for a team that, people actually cheer for. I don't know. What's your thoughts, boys? I think, should we start a campaign to bring the cheese to Brookie? Rightio. Biz soon. Bye.
I think we may have actually even spoken about this earlier.
We have.
Obviously, Manasi fine now, innocent till proven guilty before the courts. Hopefully that gets resolved. If that gets resolved, Manase, our hooker, take that to the bank. But the cheese is also a back rower, front rower. So I would still love him to be in the side.
He's diverse.
And he's got a bit about him.
He'd do well on the peninsula.
He'd do so well. We love personalities on the peninsula.
Well, personalities in the peninsula go hand in hand.
Correct.
Like wine and cheese.
Yeah. Like
That's-
a Shiraz or a Scarborough Shard.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I think that he could only benefit the playing group, Tom.
I wonder if we've got some cashola as well now that we let
there's money.
AFB go.
There's money. There's money around. And we got Kieran for a steal.
Yeah.
An absolute steal.
Yeah.
Look, if Manasi comes back,
Which he
we
will.
cross our fingers, he will. We're starting to look really red hot.
Yeah.
And I think we're a smoky for the Prem.
And by
So-
smoky, it's a lock.
Well, it's a smoky because the bookies have us as
Yeah.
smokies.
Yes.
So they are a smoky, but they're a smoky lock.
Yes.
Like they're a lock to be
Yeah,
a smoky.
To be a smoky.
To win.
Yeah.
Because where there's smoke, there's fire.
Love that, Dave.
Good from you, Dave.
Love that, especially from a Storm fan there. That must have hurt to admit.
Well, if
pressure on.
If Brandon Smith's there, I can see how it could happen.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's done it before. His record's pretty good.
G'day, boys. Tom, Eddie, Dior, punters and dribblers. Wannabe influencer here again. Parked up on the couch on a Friday night, peak dribbler form, watching some bloke live stream the fight on Facebook
Because you don't have a Foxtel box.
in the tennis.
No one does.
Just want to know
Main
why
event's
the
fault.
hell all these soft Queenslanders are wearing headgear in the boxing. No tough nuts like Big Willie, Sandor, and Lunatic Gower. All no headgear.
Or retired.
Softies like Friday, headgear. Thought these Queenslanders were meant to be tough. Just want to
Well,
know what's
Friday's
going on
retired.
up there. Anyway, beer soon, headgear never.
I mean, look, when you saw what Junior Paulo did to Neville Costigan, who was wearing a headgear, I would be wearing a fucking headgear. I don't think... And look, I get it. This guy's a New South Welshman and he just wants to shit on Queensland, which I also understand because Queenslanders are a bunch of fucking losers. But, you know, when you see Junior Paulo...
Depends who you're fighting.
I'd be wearing it anyway. I'd be like, fuck that shit. You're going to get knocked out even with a headgear. So it probably doesn't even make a difference.
Look, Willie Mason's a cowboy, so he's not going to ever wear one.
No.
He's also rangy as fuck, and he had like 3 inches on Friday, or 3 feet.
Yeah,
even.
I'd say 3 feet.
But again, if I'm fighting Junior Paulo, I've got one on. I just do. Queenslander or not.
I might have a helmet on.
Bro, I'm going in with a fucking racing helmet on,
Yeah.
mate. 100%.
Yeah. Knock me out through
I
this
don't care
way.
if he works the body. I mean, I'll be pissing blood for the next week, but at least my head's on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. No head, no life.
Yeah.
I can piss blood and be alive.
You can.
That's how I see
Well,
it.
like they can fix that hopefully.
Well, hopefully.
with enough early medical treatment.
Well, I think that, with early.
You know what I mean?
Get in early.
Yeah, early medical assistance, like immediately.
But if your head comes off, nothing you can do, as far as I know.
To date, they did try and do a head transplant. Have you ever seen that? Where the guy was like
A face transplant or a head transplant?
head transplant, Dior. So this guy, he had some sort of condition where his body was wasting away. His body wasted away. So he was just a head, basically. With the greatest respect, he was literally just like a head. His body was fucked, and
His body was wasting.
no, it was gone. Like it was basically.
Well, his heart obviously worked, or they had him hooked up to a machine.
No.
So he was
like,
just head.
No, he was all like he obviously his heart worked, but like his limbs and everything. Like,
Yeah, I'm with you.
And again, I don't know if it's happened or if they were trying to do it, but basically it was some mad scientist, and they had a body of a guy who was like I guess dead.
You guessed dead?
Well, he must have been dead. Like I don't know, but I don't know if it was dead like vegetative, because even then I don't think legally you'd be allowed to just go, well, we're going to make a decision for this guy. But they had a body. And they had this guy who was ahead, and he was like, I'm prepared to die to give this a crack because I don't want to live in this fucking... And there was a mad scientist who was like, I reckon we can do it. Now, I don't know...
So it was going to happen... they have a long list of volunteers, it says. There was some guy who was going to be the guy to do it, but then he pulled out. That was in 2019.
That was the one I'm thinking, I
Um,
think. He pulled out.
Yeah, he pulled out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty big fucking thing to have to commit to. Like, you're guaranteed to... You're pretty much guaranteed to die, right? Like, It's kind of like going, let's jump out of a plane without a fucking parachute, and this thing that we've got might work, but largely everything we know medically to this point would suggest it won't.
And that it won't, yeah. It's a punt. It's a big punt.
Yeah.
It's a Hail Mary.
Yeah, we're going to put you to sleep, cut your head off, and then try and put it on something else. And it's like, okay, well, like, I mean, we can't even fix spinal injuries, really. So, like...
Also, this guy sounds mad as a cut snake, this scientist. Imagine you woke up and you put you on a sheep or something.
Yeah.
Well, so they've done it to animals. They've done it to some dogs and stuff.
And it works?
They all survive between 6 hours and 2 days. Some of them could kind of move their eyes around and chew and swallow, but it doesn't really seem like any of them were getting up and about after.
Right, so it's not exactly like...
He wasn't running around.
Like all of them died within 3 days as well.
Right. So it's not enough of a successful... test.
I'm not running on that. No. Like, look what we've done with dogs. I'll be like, bro, you've done nothing. You've done nothing.
They live 72 hours and they can move their eyes. It's like less than what he could do now.
Exactly.
You may as well just stick with what you got.
You're going backwards.
Yeah.
Nah, that sounds like
So that's why we're
madness.
saying there's no shame in wearing a headgear when you're fighting junior polo.
None.
Let's move on.
Tom, it's the fucking chook back-to-back dribbler, a.k.a. Addo. Just in reference to the rapid roll and Mondai yarn,
Shout out to Rap and Roll.
you a straight, like, schnitzel kebab fucking, operator, or do you go the schniffle? Because if you don't go the schniffle, go the schniffle, and it will
What the fuck is
change
that?
your mind.
Can you look it up?
I'm in the car with the misso after a few Red Bulls, and she's about to try her first schniffle. Thoughts, babe?
We're not getting schniffles.
Yes, we are getting schniffles.
Domestic.
Schniffles or nothing.
Where do I go?
I just want to hear your yarn because me and Clacker Bob, another Chooks fanatic, are big schniffle fans. And I tell you once you go schniffles, you never go back. Much love, peace, Red Bulls, soon.
Can I go to left?
Yeah, left.
So the schniffle, I had an inkling, but I did just Dior it and confirm it. The schniffle is mixed schnitzel and falafel.
A falafel and schnitzel hybrid.
No,
right.
like both meats essentially in the wrap. They don't make a half schnitzel, half falafel.
Yeah.
What are
Some of
both
in.
meats?
So
Well,
you get both
falafel
in there.
meat, not real falafel.
Yeah, it's
They
not
put
meat.
Well,
You get a falafel and
what do you
chicken
call
schnitzel
it?
in a
It's
wrap.
just falafel.
Falafel's
yeah.
like vegetable. Like
Yeah, but it's the meat of the falafel. I don't fucking know.
we can't call falafel a meat, is what I'm saying.
it's
I'm not
not.
allowing this podcast to
No,
continue
we're not.
if we're calling
No,
a falafel meat.
I wasn't calling it that. I'm
You
just
said
saying that-
meat, and I was confused. I was like, "Am I so stupid that falafel's a meat this whole time and I didn't know?" No. So falafel is like vegetable
in the same way, like the meat of a mango is the,
flesh of
the
a
flesh.
mango.
Yeah, okay. No,
Meat
but the
of a
flesh
cricket
could be
bat.
the skin. I don't know.
No, Dave.
Either way, it's
skin
half.
is the skin.
It's half schnitty,
flesh
half
is the flesh.
falafel.
Yeah, okay.
In a wrap.
I'm not mad at that idea, but no, I don't get it. No, I don't get it.
Will you get it?
I might, but not at midnight when I know what I need. I need something that I've set my watch to many a time.
You're not going to take risks then.
You don't take risks.
If
at
I'm
that
in
time
the
of
if
night.
I'm in the line at McDonald's and the clock has struck midnight,
Yeah.
and I'm full to the brim,
yeah.
I'm getting a quarter.
I'm not going to fillet a fish because
I'm getting a quarter pound. I'm not getting a fillet of fish. I don't give a fuck if you think they're the best burger all time.
No,
I'm not getting.
no way.
I'm not risking it.
At that time of night, you need consistency. You need that because the world, basically, your mind is so altered by booze and whatever else that you need things to basically ground you in reality, and that is the things you know to be true and the things that you love. And for me,
The
that
things
is a
that have always
schnitzel
been
wrap
there.
from Rap and Roll.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm happy to go along with that.
Yep. And what's it called? A schnipple?
Schniffle.
Schniffle. Okay. I don't like the name. I will say that.
Schniffle is that better or worse?
No, I just don't. Schniffle kind of sounds gross.
It
I don't
sounds
know.
like what you've got right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, moving on.
Peace and D's, how are we? Just got up on the team. Yep, I was on the team. On the multi, and that's it. Fuck Kyrgios. Dribbler from barrel. That's just how it is. You don't know what's going to happen.
Would you get $1.20, bro?
Not what happens. It's
Yeah,
not
what a fucking
happen
haul.
What it takes. Team just done it.
This guy bets
Alright,
favourites.
that's enough for me.
Yeah, $1, $1,
Deal,
$1.
Dave. Silly.
He's $1 man.
You're a $1 man. You don't take
He's
risks. Probably exclusively missionary position. You know what I mean? He doesn't like to live life. Do you reckon he's ever felt what adrenaline feels like, Eddie?
No.
I can't imagine that this man's ever felt adrenaline.
No. No. Easy route, always.
Easy route. It's like...
Doesn't take risks.
No, I'm happy to make, $20 on a $100 bet.
Yeah. Like middle of the fucking road stuff. What are you getting up here,
I'm
mate?
just getting the New South Wales Victoria because Smudge has just walked to the crease.
Fucking great call from you, Dave.
Good Dioring.
2 for 4. Nice.
Moses and Smudge out there. I'll be watching this today.
All right, moving on though.
Moving on.
Yeah, g'day, Tom, Eddie, punters and dribblers, and your Dave! Yeah, I just got the Boog dribbler here and the Tau Bingo dribbler here. We're just two blokes about to head up north to work for CPC. And we'd just like to ask a bit of a question on our, just before we head up north.
So,
I'll just pass over to the Tau Bingo dribbler.
So Eddie, from Dubbo, fucking tell us every episode. So thought you'd know a bit about. I don't mind a vape. Threw a bit of a taster on the last couple of weeks. So I was wondering if you'd know a belt maker or saddler that'd make a pouch, a fit a vape in the belt. Just when you're out mustering and stuff, just a vape and that sort of thing. So I don't know where else to go, so I thought I'd come to you boys just to give you a bit of guidance.
You come to the right
I've got
place.
in this crazy world at the moment. So
He wants a belt maker
Thanks,
to hold his vape.
A utility belt.
Yeah, vape soon.
So what we
Vape soon, and just quickly like to
Still going.
shout out to the Beetle dribbler. Just ran into him actually. He's off getting it done tonight. So, righto. See you soon.
Beautiful.
Bye.
All right. So now, what do you call a man or woman who work with leather? Is it a leatherman or a leather woman? What I mean is, we need someone out there, punters and dribblers. We're a force for good. But we need someone who works with leather, who can make a belt that has vape pouches.
That's what we need.
I mean, more for Dave than anyone else. I know, Eddie, you are also a huge vapeman. And
a leather worker or a tanner or a cordwainer is someone who works with fine or fancy leather.
Okay. Well, we need to have like a belt with multiple little holes in it for all the different sized vapes you can have. And then Dave can basically just wear that every day.
Yeah.
It is actually so relevant that I need that right now because, as you
Something
guys might have
really,
noticed
something
today,
really subtle and
You're
but
vapeless.
bespoke.
I am without vape
There you go.
for almost no other reason than I've lost like 4 in the last like week and a half, and I just am beyond trusting myself with them.
He needs a vape belt.
I need a vape belt.
I reckon there's huge demand for a vape belt. Something really subtle,
Yeah.
but really classy.
But also one that I like because if you're trying to
But leather's true.
if you're trying to adhere to a little bit of the 2020 fashion, you could have it as a belt that goes around your waist or a bit of a Rambo over the shoulder, bum baggy
Business
sort of number.
time.
And like bullets.
Yeah.
You've just got all the
vapes.
vapes. And that's probably easier just to pull on. You could even just like lift it up to your mouth a little bit.
Obviously, the Rambo look, not subtle.
No.
So it depends what sort of operator you are. If you're the sort of guy that likes to telegraph that he has 700 vapes on him,
Yeah.
you're probably going to get hit up a lot. But if you've got him under the tee, hit him away, like, if you're out in the yards, mate, I don't know if you want to have vapes showing. Maybe you do.
It depends, I guess. It depends.
Depends what type of guy you are.
Yeah.
You can make that decision yourself. It'll work either horizontal or vertical, if you know what I mean.
I don't actually know.
Well, like it needs to keep the vapes in there. However, the belt.
Yeah,
is
whatever
positioned.
it is, the vapes need to be. The main thing is that the vapes are
safe.
But please,
From
anyone
home.
who can make that'd be fantastic. There could be something in it for
If you work with leather and you want to make a vape belt, and also if you want to buy one, maybe call up and say how much you're prepared to pay, and we can see if worlds align.
Yeah, or a baggy green. That New South Wales team dripping with throbbers there.
New South Wales team always does.
I know, but like this is nice when you see Pattinson playing for Victoria. This is a fucking game. But like, it's
Pattinson's
nice.
got reading glasses on.
Surely he's not bowling with fucking reading glasses. It's good to see state cricket when the weapons are playing, though. That's the thing. You're Pattinson bowling to Smith, Enrique's batting, Pat Cummins, Nathan Lyon, Curtis Patterson of why isn't he still in and around the Australian setup fame, averaging 100 for his country fame.
Marcus Harris opening for Victoria.
Marcus Harris opening for Victoria. Is Pekowski playing?
No, Pekowski's
Not a one-day man.
He might be in the... Oh, no, he wouldn't be in the
North Sydney
2020
Oval?
squad.
Look.
Yeah, North Sydney Oval.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He looks like he's wearing reading glasses. He mustn't be.
No,
That would
he's
be
definitely
too
not.
weird.
He's definitely not. How about when it was
No,
the
he's
test
not.
summer and it was like Pattinson ruled out of third test? It was like he was never playing. He wasn't ruled out.
That was
Apparently-
Fox Sports looking for a headline.
I know. Anyway, let's roll.
Looks good with the Mitchell Johnson sleeve, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And by it, I mean Pattinson.
So this is the only one that starred. It's the last of his 7 dribbles.
Yep. Oh, no. Okay, hold on. I think hold on. Go first 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go last 2.
I'm going to keep this short and sharp. I've been chewing on this for 2 weeks. Eden and Jonah, your birthday party was fucking disgusting. It ruined the experience of every punter and dribbler within the greater region of New South Wales, the Greater West, Queensland, and the rest of Australia, because this podcast is going everywhere. And in particular, Outback Jack or Zach or whatever your fucking name is, your fantasy comp sounds like absolute bullshit. Anyway, boys, I got it off my chest. I actually got a serious question for you. Is Nick Kyrgios the most entertaining Australian athlete in history? But you watch him and he's swearing. He's obviously probably spoken about Nick already, but he goes to an ad break and you hear him just go, fuck. And it goes to an ad break. And then he starts abusing the fucking umpire about a machine she has no control over. Nick Kyrgios, the king, is the GOAT. And that's all I've got to say. Fuck you, Ethan Jonah. Fuck you, Outback Zach. And Budgie never. Cheers, bye.
Firstly, I feel like poor old Eden and Jonah were mere bystanders of this whole thing. I think Eden and Jonah's mates.
Yeah, how much did they didn't have a whole lot to do with it, did they?
I don't even remember Eden and Jonah specifically dribbling, but they've certainly, unfortunately, it is the name by which the set of dribbles is known.
What else do you call it?
I think also...
They said that before every
I think
dribble.
it was more... What was his name? Tom Rigby.
Was that his name?
He was the guy that asked for the shout-out initially, and then he was the first one that called up, I think.
Okay, well,
And
there
then
you
did
go.
it Of no context fame.
So he's fucked it for Eden and Jonah.
But it is what it is.
Curious, yeah. I mean, yeah, he is probably the most entertaining. Certainly of the last, like, in recent memory.
It'd be him and Marnus at the moment.
Yeah, but
In
Marnus
different
is
ways.
not. Marnus, yeah. Kyrgios is putting on a show.
He's a showman.
He's a showman.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
All right, got the second one.
Hey, Tom, Eddie, punters, dribblers. It's the hungry dribbler. It's in bed right now.
Hungry dribbler.
Where the hell do you get the wrap and roll? Wrap and roll of left on the front porch, but not left on the front porch fame.
Could you put it in a sandwich?
We're back in bed, hungry AF, and in dead search of a wrap and roll. So
Google.
punters, dribblers, let us know where you get wrap and rolls from.
Eden and Jonah, I don't care what sort of meal you have. I am hungry, yeah, sure, you could say that. But if you got food, I don't really care where it comes from.
Eden, Jonah, we don't care about your budgies, man. Wrap and rolls. All right. Let us know.
Listen,
Eden and Jonah, there's a theme in
There
these
is.
dribbles.
Yeah. This is the anti-Eden and Jonah. Listen, Rap and Rolls are in Bondi. I don't know if they have a franchise going on here or not. That's a Google situation. But Rap and Roll, Bondi, phenomenal. That's all I can say.
They'd be elsewhere. You just got to pound Uber Eats and Deliveroo and DoorDash into the ground.
Yep. Menu log.
Pound them all.
But if I can maybe make a slightly controversial call,
Yeah,
I
you
think
can.
there are probably better kebab places out there the further away you go from Bondi.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I wouldn't even call Wrap and Roll a really kebab place. Like,
That's true. Their beef is not like donuts.
their name
like,
is Wrap and Roll,
Yeah.
not kebabs, you know?
That's
Like,
true.
they are making kebabs, but it's not really a kebab joint, for
That's true.
sure. Definitely
enough.
better kebab stores.
All right, we'll go their last two from like 2 a.m.
See how we go.
Hey boys, it's the we ain't got no edge of blood back again. I got a little impression for y'all. This is Batman. Rachel! Rachel! Rosie! Rosie!
Batman?
Yeah.
Jesus, I think we just pull it there, don't we?
Well, they got their last room.
Are we,
It's only
are,
like
are we
30
sitting
seconds.
through this?
30 seconds.
Okay.
And it's the one that was starred, so maybe there's something in it.
Hey, my boys, it's we ain't got no edge of blood. Last time I hit you with the Batman impression. This time, I'm going on the flip side. This is Bane. Oh, you think you're in front of the dog. You should keep your friend with it. I was born it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was on
Oh my God.
Do we regret our decision?
Well,
Or do
I
we encourage it?
just... Is he still going? Turn it off. I like to hear those ones because sometimes, a lot of the times, I'm truly blown away by, like, the fucking level of dribble that we're getting. And, like, yeah, you get, like, a lot of drunk people who just sort of say incoherent shit, but that guy's called us up multiple times, but two of them were just to do a Batman impression and a Bane impression, and I'm just sort of like...
I couldn't tell them apart.
But also, just where
They sounded the same, the impressions.
the
They're
night
identical.
descends to. Is he still with people at that point? Is he just still wanting to call up? But it's like to do a Batman and a Bane impression that were horrible. But
it's fucking out there.
That was bizarre. Shout out to Eden and Jonah of unnecessarily tarred and feathered by their friends fame.
Yeah, g'day boys, punters and dribblers. Firstly, just like to give a massive fucking shout out to Alex Swanton.
Yep.
What a fucking tip.
2N Swanton.
Sent that to a few of the boys, I think upwards of 3K between us, so fucking massive from you.
Huge.
Be you soon, mate. Now, the reason for my call is basically I'm an NRL dribbler, but I don't really care too much for the X's and O's of the sport as such. But what I do like to know in sort of bite-sized and easily digestible information is on any given week, who's fucked and who's humming. Now, I know there's been some calls for this segment to be brought back, but I really think it's time for the 2021 NRL season to bring back fucked and humming on a full-time basis. So I think that probably falls to Dio or Dave to take responsibility for holding Eddie to account for that. But yeah, anyway, be as soon, boys. Would love to hear some fucked and humming in 2021. Bye.
Fair comment. There's a lot of positive, feeling around the fucked and humming segment.
Yeah.
I don't want to deny nor rob the punter and the dribbler to their right to hear great dribble.
Yeah.
So I'm prepared to bring it back and see how I feel about it.
Yeah. Do you think with fucked and humming...
Because it's got to be a vibe thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you the hot tip. You're not getting it every week.
That's the problem,
That's
right?
what I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that for free. You're not getting it every week. You will get it this season, but not every week.
Because
when I think someone's fucked and someone's humming, I'll tell you. But I'm not telling you every week.
But also, that's because if you were to say who's fucked and who's humming every week, sometimes it would get to a point where it's like you're just tipping you say like humming is top of the table, fucked is bottom of the table.
Fucked and humming has always been and will always be a vibe thing. My vibe at the moment is.
Do you think
backed up by some stats?
Do you think that fucked and humming could extend beyond the world of rugby league and it's just someone who's fucked this week and who's humming, or do you think that it needs to sit within the rugby league paradigm? If that's
I don't think it needs to. I don't think it needs to. I think you could sit it wherever you wanted. I think it makes a lot more sense, potentially, to have it sit outside of rugby league.
Yeah, as a blanketed
thing. I think that makes sense. I think it's worth exploring. I like it, Tom.
Yeah. Well, let's just see how it goes.
That's what the hotline's for.
Yep.
spark conversation, get the creative juices flowing.
Yep.
Tremendous.
Let's roll.
G'day, Tom, Eddie, punters, and the dribblers. The Hammersley dribbler here. Just want to say, calling from the west, it's getting bigger and bigger. Would just like to say I've been captivated by the Jim Jam Life talk over the last few weeks. Just like to ask a couple of questions. You guys have already captured the hat market. Would you guys be interested in entering the Jim Jam market? Maybe some Jim Jam for Life logos on it. Also, would like to ask
faux silk.
What kind of Jim Jams do you guys like to wear? Like the long pants or shorts, a full tartan, or do you go for the weird Peter Alexanders or whatever? Like to hear your thoughts. All the best. See you soon.
Firstly, Jim Jam merch. Almost, it's similar to what we've been exploring because I know there was some talk potentially for this year to do like bounced out Sunday trackies, which can be worn as Jim Jams in winter.
Yeah,
and they can be worn down the street. They can be worn everywhere.
Yeah, they're in every occasion sort of pant
and hoodie. You know what I mean? It's not just tracky dack pants. You got to have the top and bottom same color, bounced out.
Hoodie or sloppy Joe?
Well, I think a hoodie when you bounced. When you
Yeah.
bounce, you need to be able to pull that thing over your head. You also, the benefit of the hoodie when you bounce is to just pull it over your eyes, and it's nighttime.
So it's a bounced out ensemble.
Yes, the bounced out ensemble hoodie tracky combo, and
then-
obviously tasteful and looks good.
Yeah.
You could wear it out, but it's mainly for when you're completely wrecked.
And maybe on the inside, just like a little top 10 rom-coms you should be watching. And maybe like what you should order from KFC. Just like in
100%.
case you'd forgotten.
In case you forget, make it easy
Like-
with like the numbers.
Yeah.
Numbers and
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That's great.
Don't you reckon?
I think that's perfect.
Yeah, just a nice touch.
That's fucking perfect. That's exactly what it is. That's so fucking good, Eddie. That is so good. Menu options, food items and rom-coms.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. We're looking into it.
Favorite type of pajamas? I am an undies man. Or
I don't wear undies to bed. I need to let the boys breathe.
No, so like boxers.
Boxers.
But I do have a pair of undies, two of them actually, that are so old and loose. They're actually like, if you're
They're
not,
just like wearing boxers.
well, but also if you're not me, they're probably pretty disgusting. Steph's mum, my mother-in-law Marina, who I think we mentioned earlier in the podcast.
We did.
She was putting out our washing once with Steph. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And she's happened across my undies that I wear for bed. Like, they're too saggy and loose to wear in any other context than just bed. Because, like, it's not weird for your nuts or your dong to fall out the side if you're laying in a certain position.
Of
right?
course.
And they're, like, tattered as fuck. She found them and she thought that, like, I guess I just don't have many undies. And she was like, apparently to Steph, she's like, oh, Stephanie, I must get him new undies. Steph's like, no, he likes these. She's like, what? It's like, yeah, he wears them to bed. She was like disgusted at them. Which honestly is understandable. They're foul, but they're comfy as fuck. And you do need to have your boys breathing, as you said.
You've got to have the boys breathing at night. Have to breathe.
Nude, boxers, or very haggard undies.
I don't have the lad. I've first two I go with.
You don't have any like a haggard old pair of undies or boxers?
I got haggard old boxers, not undies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to haggard undies.
We'll press on. How many dribbles we got today?
Not long, it's only like 4 more or something.
Cool.
Yeah, good day, Tom, Eddie, down Dave, Hunt dribblers. Some awesome cowboy dribbler back again. A few months ago in quarantine there, I was playing golf at Moore Park one day there, and I joined the group of 2 blokes ahead of me, and they turned out to be none other than Ruben Garrick and Jack Kowalski of Manly Seagulls fame.
Gajewski, bro.
I was just wondering who's sort of the most famous blokes that you've played around the golf with. I'll tell you what, though, those two blokes can hit a ball. But yeah, what do you reckon?
Well, yeah. Shout out to Jack Gajewski and was it the snack Ruben Garrick? Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a question: who's the most famous person you played golf with?
Yeah.
I haven't played.
Probably your dad, Tom, for you.
Yeah. To be honest, that is actually it. It's Dad. Because I've never played with anyone famous.
Actually, on that, my mates were playing yesterday. I think also in Moore Park, and they were behind Brian Fletcher.
There you go.
Actually, fuck. Now they're on brushes with Lame. I fully forgot. I met Natalie Portman the other day. Yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, 2 days ago. No, I mean, met is a bit of an overstatement.
Okay.
Like, we were down by Milk Beach. My mate's here from Melbourne, so we were showing him the sights and enjoying a little vegan cigarette.
Yeah.
And after that, we were just sitting chilling, and she's like walking behind me. I didn't even see her, and I wouldn't recognize her. Haven't seen many of her films, but he sees her, and I just see him like start to wig out and just like, almost like start convulsing. He's a huge Star Wars guy, so he freaked out. He's like, "Oh, Natalie, like, can I please get a photo? Is that okay?" And her husband just turns around and goes, "Nah, not now, mate. Sorry."
Oh. Where were you?
At Milk Beach in Vaucluse.
Was she like laying down?
No. She was with her husband and her kid. They were doing like the coastal walk.
I mean, look, I can understand Natalie not wanting to stop for a photo with
It's
your
fair,
mate
because
who's
then
like convulsing over her.
After she did walk past like 5 or 6 other people,
it's a safety thing.
just to all go, "Oh shit, was that Natalie Portman?"
Yeah, right. Was she as beautiful in person as she is?
She is. Like, you don't expect it, but
Yeah.
fuck, for someone who's been acting for that long as well.
Well, why would she be ugly?
No, because
she's
she's
been acting for that long.
Well, because she's old.
He's saying she's okay.
She's old.
But she's not that old.
Bro,
She's
look,
not
I
as
know
old
you
as
just got
think.
out of creche, bro, but she's
Yeah.
like in her 30s, dude. How old is Natalie Portman? Look that up.
We worked this out.
I bet she's not
But
that
she
old.
was in films
Yeah,
in like the 90s.
Yeah, bro,
Which
but
is
you know
now
what I
like
mean?
30 years ago or something.
That doesn't mean she's going to be fucking like look like she's 60.
1981, so she's 40 this year.
You can still be hot at 40.
Fuck yeah, you can.
She is. Case in point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Dave, I think I forgot to ask, but you said your dog got high. I just needed
Oh,
you to
yeah, I was
explain
going
that.
to talk about that. Yeah, so on Friday, my parents took the dog out in the morning, went to the park, and during the day when they came home, she was a bit nauseous. She was kind of like just really lethargic and kind of got up to walk a couple times and was all wobbly. They said she ate some poo at the park, which they thought was human poo. So
Fuck.
anyway, and she'd also got vaccinated the day before, so we were like, oh, maybe she's just kind of sick from that. Maybe
Vaccinated for what?
just her like 2-year injections.
Oh, okay.
And so anyway, we take her to the vet. We tell them the whole story. The vet says to us, well, if she's eaten someone's poo in the park, there's a good chance that there could be drugs in it because...
How do you know it's human poo?
I don't know. I wasn't at the park.
Right.
But my parents were pretty
That's a
sure.
great question.
And they said it's not the first time she's done it.
Your dog's a shit eater.
Yeah. But anyway, so the guy said to us, well, if she's eaten poo at the park, there's a good chance that someone who's done the poo probably wasn't sober. So they got a drug test. We're sitting in the waiting room waiting for 20 minutes. And then the dude comes out with a little drug test card and just goes, yep, your dog's a stoner.
Oh,
So she was
really?
high for like the last
Maybe
3
it was
days or
your
something.
shit, Dave. Do you remember pooing at the park?
You know, I don't remember, but you never
Is
know.
it something that you're capable of?
Look, I can take a poo, and I could get myself to a park if I
And
need
you also
to.
don't mind the vegan cigarettes. So,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm quite sure it wasn't my poo.
We can't
that
rule
the
it out
dog
though, at
ate.
this point,
Yeah.
right? We can't rule it out that
Yeah.
maybe your dog ate your shit.
I'm just very happy that it was someone's shit at the park and that they saw it, because if not, I would have been blamed like straight away.
Taking a dump at the park's a huge
yeah.
day.
Huge day.
Unless you have to. Like you can't knock someone if you've got to go and it's like a difference between shit in your pants or
When you got to go, you got to go. I get that. But
because I've been in those situations before. I've had to shit and
a poo in the parks, it's bold.
yeah, but if you need to shit.
Have you pooed in a park?
I've shit in public before.
On the ground?
Yeah, I shit in a bush.
But like camping or
No, dude, no.
No?
Like I was like, oh, I'm about to crap my pants. And I've done it in a bin once as well.
in a bin?
Yeah, but you're a special breed, mate.
Well, mate, I'm just telling you. Like, if I got to go, I've got sympathy or empathy for people.
Didn't you
that
take
have
a
to
shit
do
in the laundry as well or something?
No, I didn't do that. I was.
You did do that.
No, I didn't do that. I was drunk and I was staying with my mother.
Didn't you poo in a
and-
basket or something?
No, I didn't poo in a basket. I
For
was.
all we know, this could have been your poo. That
Mum
my
found
dog
me. Mum found me. You know.
Seriously, bro, I'm starting to think this is Tom.
Well, what park was it?
ate. Lion Park, where the ferry is in Rose Bay.
That's near where I
That
live.
is pretty close to
That's
where
near
you
where I
live,
live.
yeah.
I can't rule it out at this point. But no, I didn't poo in a basket. Just for everyone that knows, or just for the record. And now maybe we can't rule out whether I was the one that pooed in Lion Park.
No.
The jury's out on that one.
We press on.
Yeah.
G'day, Tom and Eddie, Dior Dave, punters and dribblers. This is Simo of Beedman Carroll fame. Look, lads, I'm just ringing into the hotline today celebrating Valentine's Day with my newlywed wife, Evie, of backing vocals dribblette fame. And, having a tremendous afternoon. Just wanted to ring up with a bit of brushes with fame of the rugby league royalty bloodline variety. And Friday we got married, Friday the 12th. Our ceremony was blessed by Galley Messenger the Third, of grandson of the great Galley M fame.
Tremendous.
And needless to say, tremendous bloke, probably best and fairest of our ceremony. It was a wonderful day. And we were pretty lucky, obviously, with the pending lockdown that happened just before we got married at midnight. So, Eddie, I know you've got some nuptials coming up soon, mate. So if you want to be blessed by some rugby league royalty, then reach out. Otherwise, hope you boys are looking after the wonderful Steph and Ella. And, beers soon, Tom. Nuptial beers soon, Eddie. And Dave, hope you've dropped I own a podcast Valentine's Day pickup line and maybe get a shag tonight. So Valentine's Day shag beers for you too. Anyway, love you fellas. All the best. Thanks. Cheers. Bye.
Well, firstly, congratulations, Simo Marie Sergil there on the marriage to beautiful Evie. Dave, did you get a Valentine's Day?
I did not, but maybe that's because I didn't tell anyone that I have a podcast. So.
Almost certainly the reason.
Yeah.
Eddie, did I see you do something yesterday for Valentine's Day that looked very big lift of you?
Yeah, it did.
It looked, and I don't know, you're not one to share on here, and obviously it pisses me off because I come here, I talk about pooing in the parks and shit, and you just sort of keep this stuff very quiet. The people need to hear.
Well, I'll tell you what we did. And I'll tell you
I saw a photo yesterday.
And punters and dribblers.
Very beautiful. There was fucking like a table in a park and you're popping champagne and shit.
So I'll tell you what we did. And feel free to use this if you need inspiration moving forward. Now, Valentine's Day is a G up for a couple of reasons.
It's a complete load of shit.
They try and entice you into fucking spending a shitload of coin. And B, if you do want to go somewhere for dinner or lunch, you got to get the banquet, and it's like $700 a head, and it's 50 courses of shit you don't want. Yep. And they might give you a free glass of bubbles on the way in, but like, bruh, really?
It's also a one-way street Valentine's Day. There's nothing happening for you.
It's like, mate. So I was like, Elsa, do you want to go up the park and have a picnic? She's like, yep, sounds great. So I was like, sweet, I'll nip up the road and I'll get some pastas from Fourth Village. Fucking great pasta. Doesn't break the bank. Got some goat's cheese because you like goat's cheese, and had some crackers.
Like goat's cheese?
Bang, whacked it into a bag. Then I got a bottle of wine. I got a beer, and then I got the margarita mix left over from my 21st.
That's what I saw you doing.
Left over from the 30th, rather. 21.
21st?
Fucking hell. Wow. From my 30th, whacked the shaker in there. Got a table from downstairs. 2 like chairs that you take to the park. Into the car, up the road. Nice spot. No one there. Set it up. Thanks for coming. Piece of piss.
I mean, certainly doesn't sound like a piece of piss. Sounds like a bit of big lift from you there.
But like, it doesn't. But like,
you don't have to go and fucking spend $1 million. No.
And I had a lot of the ingredients sitting around. But yeah, it was nice of me. Sure, it was. Is it a panty dropper? It's up to you.
Yeah. Take that. Make of that what you will.
Make of that what you will.
I hope that the Dumbrells are listening to this podcast. I've never got anything for Valentine's Day, put it that way. Have you? Did you get anything?
Did I get anything? No. Well, no.
No, you didn't.
The answer's no.
No, you didn't. And neither did I. But I will say this, actually, in fairness. I got Steffi some flowers just delivered to the house. Sunflowers, fuck roses on Valentine's Day. Roses are lame. Sunflowers are where it's at. in my opinion. But she did look after me essentially all weekend, so that was my I feel like that was the gift she gave me because I was fucked.
That's a gift.
And having to look after a child when you're sick is actually very tough because they don't know and they don't care, and so you've got to run around.
Tom, it
and-
sounds like you were spoiled.
I was a little bit, yeah. And it was like she had 2 babies in the house. She had a real one, and then she had a 32-year-old baby who was like fucking, aching and couldn't do anything. So big lift from her.
Nice.
Let's move on.
Tom, Eddie, Dior, punters and dribblers. It's the Red V dribbler here of nothing notable fame. Wanted to dribble to come into bat for my beloved Dragons after they copped what I thought was an unjustified licking on last week's pod. Firstly, just wanted to point out that unfortunately you boys glossed over Kate Ellis in the same squad this year, who's not only a Dubbo Junior, a notable nut trucker, but his first name is Kate. Tom, you mentioned you think the Dragons are a good shout for the spoon this year.
Yep.
I'd love to bet you a case of blokes that they will make the top 8 in
Done.
2021.
Done.
And we'd be more than happy for your case to be a podcast, top of the heap sponsored case, and mine to be store bought. I'm
No.
that confident the Red V will play finals footy this year.
I'll buy it.
Finally,
Mate.
my main reason for the dribble,
Is this bloke over
I'd
his
like
fucking
to
head?
address the dirty merger club slurs and bring up a part of Manly's history I haven't heard mentioned on this show. Dior, you may not be aware of this as they probably didn't have Optus C7 Sport in your creche at the time, but in the early 2000s, Manly themselves were a proud DMC, competing as the Northern Eagles for a few seasons. So Tom and Eddie, I feel that you guys banging on about DMC is a bit similar to being the old creepy bloke in the nightclub, definitely wearing a belt with his off-the-rack suit pants that don't fit, talking about how marriage sucks and you should never get married, only for everyone else around him to know the truth that he actually tied the knot a few years back, but it all just ended in tears and he now looks very bitter at the end of it. Anyway, boys, love your work and beers at North Sydney League soon.
Take that bet.
Take the bet. 100%. That bet is on. Get into our DMs so we've got who you actually are. There is no way the Dragons make the top 8 this year, and I am more than happy to bet a case of blokes. I won't get a comped case from the King, Denning Kemp. I'll just fucking buy it. But I won't have to buy it because the Dragons will not make the top 8. So that bet's on. Dave, could you, for the sake of our memory, just go and remind us how many years Manly were merged with the fucking North
I think
Sydney
it was
Bears?
3.
Whatever. I think this is something that a lot of these DMC fans, like old mate here of nothing notable fame, and Tigers fans of, Salty X fame.
So it was 99 to 03.
Okay, 4 years. Easy. There was a time when Manly were merged with the North Sydney Bears and the Northern Eagles, right? That's indisputable. That was what it was, right?
Yeah.
They are no longer that.
They saw the light.
That doesn't exist anymore. Manly went, fuck these losers. Let's get back to what we're doing right.
No.
And then we win comp.
The NRL forced them to, and they
Yeah.
go, no, we're not doing it. And they fought tooth and nail to get out of it. It's like when the Rabbitohs got kicked out of the comp.
Yeah.
They fought tooth and nail to come back. Same thing.
Are you trying to tell us the Rabbitohs have only been playing in the NRL for what was it? They come back in 2002 or whatever. Let's say they come back 2002. You're saying they've only been in the comp for 18 years? No. Something happened. They then had to get through that,
Yeah.
and now it's just back to the Rabbitohs. Manly is still Manly. They were a dirty
Manly
merger club.
but they were forced against their will
Yeah.
to become one, and they fought tooth and nail to undo a horrible wrong.
The Northern Eagles were a dirty merger club. Manly's not a dirty merger club.
No.
Manly is a fucking proud, famous NRL club.
It's like the Balmain Tigers, proud and famous, gone.
Gone. Not a dirty merger. They are
Western Suburbs Magpies, proud, gone.
Illawarra Steelers.
Proud, gone.
St George Dragons.
Proud, gone.
What about the St George Illawarra Dragons?
They're now here,
And
they're
they
dirty
are
merger.
a dirty merger club.
Yeah. That's how it works. Didn't know we needed to explain that again, but we did, and that's how it works.
That's what DMC fans, unfortunately,
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
They don't get
They're so conflicted.
They got their heads in their sand.
They're so conflicted.
They're conflicted.
What do? They're like,
They live in conflict.
Yeah.
They live in conflict.
So, look, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. And well done on getting rid of your best player, who's now done his ACL, which is sad. Feel sorry for him there in Cam McInnes. But well done on getting rid of your best player. That'll probably help in your premiership charge.
No, that should help.
That should be good. That should be good. Tyson Frizzell went as well, didn't he?
That
That'll
should
be
help
good.
win the. That should help win the bet.
That should help get him to the top 8.
Yeah.
That's exciting for you. I mean, fuck. Case of blokes. I should probably start saving, put the money away now.
You should, dude, because you're in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, last dribble.
Last dribble. Here we go.
It's Swanton's.
Long day.
Swanee.
Yeah.
Swanton.
This is the big horse dribbler. Big horse by name, small horse by nature. Of mates with Alex Swanton of famous tips in the 8th at the Meadows Fame. Wow. Sitting here on a glorious Bundy Sunday, sucking the life out of a peach vape like I was Mr. Kurt Catewell's Robin. We're blokes. We're blokes to the walls. We've had blokes everywhere. In our mouth, in our hands, a couple in our feet. They're everywhere. Swanee's cooking us a masterpiece here. The bloke's talents are fucking endless. So it's got a spectacular paella on cook here.
Paella?
Listen, the reason for the call is I've got a bit of an apology to make to one of you. It's not you, Tom. It's definitely not you, Turncoat Dave. And it sure as hell isn't Nelson, fucking dirty turncoat. It's you, Mr. Eddie. You may remember me from alleged Australia Post bedsheet fame, delivering the glorious punters and dribblers cap, or not delivering it, rather.
And you said you were there all day. Is that you?
Package was meant to arrive Christmas Eve.
Yeah, this is you.
Which it never did. Also, we thought. A lot of information's come to light since. We've got the caps. We've got them. I got them. I'm wearing it. Stumbled into Mum and Dad's house the other day and saw these glorious caps sitting there on the bench. When I approached Mum, she fucking denied everything. Said doesn't know where they came from, everything. Obviously, she's old as shit and memory is fading. But that's no fucking excuse in my book. So I've pressed her for information. She's just denied everything. Obviously, she's just absolutely shit the bed and forgot that she opened my mail. Probably thought she ordered these fucking hats. Obviously, she's not cool enough to do that. Anyhow, rest assured she's been dealt with accordingly, punished. She's currently living in a cage, being fed food scraps, and she won't see daylight for another week. So the punters and dribblers hats are rightly placed on Swanee and the Big Horse's head, and we're representing them shy or wide, as we should. So yeah, apologies to you, Edward, and Australia Post, I guess. Although they've definitely let me down on more occasions than one. I think you can attest to that. Anyhow, blokes soon, beers soon, turncoats never.
All right, well, the Big Horse, there we go. So that's one less Australia Post bed shit we've got to deal with.
Then listen, not lying, because it did say arrived.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tracking coats had arrived. Now, it leads us into, if you haven't received yours, then get in touch via the Hello Sport Instagram inbox, because we just need to do a bit of a stock take.
Yes.
Now, we will be matching your name against records of purchase, so don't try and fly in there.
Don't try and
rip off the fucking...
Punter
essentially the punter and the dribbler.
Yeah.
So get in touch and we will get in touch back, what the fuck is going on. Because they're coming.
They are coming.
There's more hats coming. Now, we may have been forced into another minimum order, which is good news for punters and dribblers the world over, because there's going to be another limited run.
Real limited.
And when I say limited, I mean fucking limited. So if you're one of those losers that missed out, who didn't pull the trigger and act when you had the opportunity, it's your lucky day.
Yeah.
Because there's another offering available. That's all we'll say. Keep your eyes peeled. We're thinking maybe the end of March.
It's probably going to be the end of March at best because of Chinese New Year and all the things.
Apparently Chinese New Year in China goes for like 6 months. But, anyway, we'll get there.
That's what we've been told.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes peeled. Shout out to the Big Horse's mum for opening his mail. I feel like mothers love to do that shit.
They love it.
They love to go through your stuff, your personal effects.
I love it.
Good to know they were sitting there. Shout out to Swanee for cooking a paella and giving the boys great tips.
Loved them. Keep them coming.
Keep tips coming, P's and D's.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
We love them.
We love them.
We all love money. And we love punting.
So we will continue. But that's it this week, Eddie.
That's it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?